kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment, DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutoSales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales.
It's game on at the new Moneyline Book Bar and Grill inside the Gold Strike Casino Resort. Now you can bet on all of your favorite sports and watch the games on 60 HD TVs while you lounge in plush seating and enjoy craft beers, signature cocktails, and great food. Plus, don't miss the Topgolf Swing Suite, a virtual reality experience with a variety of fun interactive games every sports fan will love. Visit the Moneyline Bar, Book and Grill at Gold Strike Casino Resort for Monday Night Football happy hour specials. Or anytime you want a piece of the best sports action in Mississippi.
Pop the top on your next party. 34 North Cocktails. Available in Memphis now. Great for football grove parties, around the hunting campfire, and when you get home, entertain friends. Pop a premium can of Barrel Thief. Tastes just like an old-fashioned Barrel Thief made with aged bourbon, bitters, a hint of orange, a touch of vanilla, 15% ABV. Then, for you vodka lovers, try Sneaky Pucker, a refreshing lemonade premium vodka cocktail, 12.5% ABV. Made with super premium vodka, lavender, simple syrup, and lemonade. Delicious and smooth. Let the party begin with 34 North Cocktails.
If you're an outdoorsman and love all things hunting and fishing, be sure to listen to Sports 56 Saturday mornings at 6 a.m. for Outdoors Today. Brought to you by the Gun Store, 6920 Winchester in Memphis. Outdoors Today is a one-hour show hosted by veteran Mark Tobin and a group of respected outdoor-loving guests. Outdoors Today is dedicated to bringing outdoorsmen tips and techniques and tactics to help with your hunting and fishing in all seasons. Saturday mornings at 6 on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 87.7 and 96.1 FM.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. It's time for Sports Time with Wolo and Stacks. The first hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, and Brett Stotts Norsworthy.
It's cold outside.
What are you doing
It's
there,
warm
Dave?
in here, and I think things are only going to
Hi, Brett Northwood.
heat up. Nice to see you. I hope I remember how to do these shows.
How are you, David William Woloshin?
I am good.
Let me tell you where I heard you on Thanksgiving. You want to hear where I heard you Thanksgiving Day?
Don't tell me it was some rerun like a pool thing.
No. Thanksgiving Day, I'm pulling into Scott Field and could pick you up clear as the bell.
Are you serious?
Could pick up the NFL game on this radio station clear as the bell.
Wow.
In the drive from West Point to Starkville.
You could hear the Tigers at the Barclay building the big lead and then holding on like a rerun of the Ole Miss game.
All I heard was the opening tip. I got out of the car at 3:03.
Oh. Well, it was a fun experience.
And then, Dave, the rest of my weekend was really boring.
Yeah. You just had an egg bowl. There was nothing there.
Not a lot going on.
And then you had the Iron Bowl, and there was nothing there.
Yeah, kind of a old dog fight, wasn't it? Sorry for saying dog.
Yeah, please. It is interesting to me. There's so much to go over.
Where do we start, Dave?
The one thing that I didn't think I'd ever see was the mistakes that Alabama made at the end of that game with the penalty. 13 penalties, the most ever in a Nick Saban coached
and he got outfoxed.
Alabama team, maybe a little outfoxed. Just lack of discipline.
Baker's dozen cussing on penalties.
I know.
13 of them. They've been heavily penalized all year.
And people can talk
Very
about
undisciplined team all year.
Mac Jones all they want to. The offense wasn't the problem in that game for Alabama.
Mac Jones didn't play linebacker.
No. How do you give up all those points?
He threw one flutter ball, and then he had another pick six that I bet he would love if he had it over to throw it in the third row.
Well, that 101-yard play.
Flip the field.
That's just a weird play.
What?
He's under pressure. He's put into a spot, and
I thought Mac Jones.
It's not the running back's fault either.
Some throws in that game were dynamite.
Oh yeah.
I would like to know in the history of football. It'd be impossible to do the research on this, but you're on the one going in for some form of a score, 6 and PAT 7, or 3. You're going to get something, and the field flips. What is the percentage of winning in that? Because I think that's just too deadly a blow.
Depends on when that occurs. If that occurs in the second half, I bet you don't return.
If you go to the doctor and you're diagnosed with whooping cough, not good. Going to be in the bed a while. You go to the doctor and he sees a mass on your brain, really, really, really bad. Probably don't really get you. I mean, you can beat whooping cough. Probably not going to whip brain cancer. That flipping that field 99 yards, that's going to the doctor and getting really terminal news.
Yeah, it is, especially if it happens later in a game.
And on the road in that rivalry, 30-year anniversary of the Iron Bowl going to campus. David Housel finally was instrumental in engineering that for Auburn, and that all-time series would be so much closer than it is if they hadn't been playing that as a home game at Legion Field all those years.
Yeah.
And that crowd, I mean, it was the 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th man.
Correct me if I'm wrong, because I just heard it from John Harden and Gabe Kuhn. But Nick Saban has not won an Bowl at Auburn.
Yeah, he won in 15 there.
Oh, he did?
He lost. He won in there in 9. He won there in 11. Lost 13. Lost 17 and lost in 19.
I think the statistic that you're thinking of is that Alabama hasn't beat Auburn and Jordan-Hare when both teams are ranked.
That's it.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's the nugget. And Saturday, first time in Alabama football history to score 45 or more.
And lose? Well, the other thing is that I find fascinating is it is the first time since 2011. Think about that. We're talking 8 years that Alabama and the New England Patriots lost on the same weekend. That is how dominating those two teams have been.
And listen to you, Nugget, man.
2011.
Man, you are rested, aren't you?
I don't know. There's a lot of moving parts when you're doing football and basketball at the same time.
And what a week and weekend for the
so
Tigers
emotional.
For.
Both games. I mean,
Senior Day is emotional for me, Dave, in both sports.
I agree, and I often wonder, especially when there's so much on the line.
Hell, spring games emotional for me, but
no, not for me. But senior days are, and when there is so much riding on a senior day, I don't like it.
Only everything.
I don't like it.
And guess what? You get to do it again this Saturday.
Yeah, well, we do. But this one's a bonus because they're not having a senior day ceremony.
That's right.
You get to put your pads on in your home ballpark one last time as a bonus because it should have been the last. Well, most of the time it's the last time right there. If you were playing in a league that played on a neutral, it would be over already.
Eyes of the college football world would be on Memphis again. What a great story to host the AAC championship game Saturday. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to go, and really looking forward to watching the Tigers play. I saw them in the first game of the year. And looking forward to seeing him in person the last game of the year against Cincinnati. No shocker with the Vegas point spread, is it?
Well, it's the same exact total that Memphis just won by.
I mean, if not any big injuries.
Well, there really is a big injury on the Memphis side.
Yeah,
and it was announced today.
It is.
It is in my not top story of the day, but it's simple. It's T.J. Carter.
That's a big one.
Who he's out for the rest of the year.
And how would you describe his year this year?
I would say it was a very poor beginning, but a very good middle and finish.
Solid?
Yeah.
I would too. I would say he's had a solid year.
He did not have a good beginning of the year. If you looked at his numbers until we were about 4 games in, they were like minuscule.
Yeah. But he's had a solid year. And, the stories just keep breaking on the coaching carousel. We'll go over the 3 SEC openings, Mizzou, Arkansas, and Ole Miss. No news on Arkansas. It's been announced for a while, but also Washington today with Greg Peterson.
I know. Chris Peterson.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, and what's his name? Jimmy Lake, who's their DC.
Take over. So that doesn't do anything.
No.
There's no dominoes.
No, but I will tell you this, and I think I can share this because he's not going there because we know it's already filled. But every summer I go away for a little golf trip, and I get to go with Mike Norvell, and it's always fun. He sort of lets his hair down, and we talk frankly. And, he's always said if there was, one of the jobs that he really admires, he thinks is one of the best jobs in America, it's Washington.
Is that right?
Yes, it is. It's Washington.
Interesting.
I'm not sure why he loves that so much. I think he likes that city. And
they have a great football pass in that stadium.
And it's a football school.
Yeah. And they recruit Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Quite easily.
Right.
easier.
Well, they have enough support and money that they can win in that league because that league, let's face it, beyond USC, when it comes to Powers, who really is there?
You'd have to take your gum boots, though, because it's going to rain at those games.
Well, yeah. It's right on Lake Washington. It's beautiful.
You're not
there.
going to melt, are you?
No.
How's good? How good is
But
NC
that
State
job was already taken.
in hoops? What kind of win was that Thursday? For
Well,
the Tigers?
the best way I can put it is this. Both Ole Miss and NC State were top 50 Ken Pom wins. And you're going to need every one of those that you can get. Now, you're going to be really good when you get January 12th comes around and
Really
you
good.
get James Wiseman. And honestly, you're still missing for another couple of weeks, maybe a week and a half, Lester Quinones.
I think I texted you that somewhere during the weekend. Well, the Tigers going to be good. Come
You did.
tournament time.
You did. Right after the win against NC State, you said,
All I saw was a
imagine
final.
how good they'll be in March. And I totally agree with you. And
Go NC State now to
for,
improve RPI and such.
for those of you who are Penny Hardaway fans, his TV show debuts this evening at 6:30. And
That's why you look so nice.
exactly. And we just shot it. And, I think, not that you wanted Wiseman and Quinones to be out. I certainly don't mean that. But sometimes these setbacks can be blessings in disguise.
Lemon's
And
lemonade.
now you are really seeing these guys learn the game and come together without having to rely on one or two guys. Everybody will be really good. And I'll tell you the guy I think that has impressed me the most out of this whole thing is Alo. Alo's improvement from a year ago to now, you realize off the bench, he's leading the American Athletic Conference in assists.
And he does not seem like a 8 games into it sophomore.
No.
It feels like a seasoned veteran out there.
It feels like if it's
Knows his
going
role.
down the stretch, you want it in his hands because he's going to get it to the right people that'll be open and that can score.
8 games tomorrow night against Bradley at FedEx Forum, but he knows his role in the symbiosis with Coach Hardaway. They really have it.
Oh, they do. They do. And it was nice, since you're talking about that symmetry and guys playing together, it was nice to see Malcolm Dandridge come back. Now, he wasn't really anywhere in game shape. And remember, he's a freshman, a true freshman, trying to figure it all out. So he's going to be a while, but now he's in the mix.
Boy, I wish college basketball would adopt something like football in the 4 games for people like Malcolm Dandridge.
Wouldn't that be? So the 4 games are basically 25% of your regular season, correct? That's it.
Yeah, that's it. College football. Yeah.
No. I'm sorry. It's a third. It's 33%. 4 out of 12. You can play in 4 of the games and still be eligible. So if you took and made that rule, you have 30 games basically. Heck, I think that everybody gets these new 3-for-1. So Memphis is playing with 31 regular season games this year. If you just because not everybody does, just say a third of 27, 9 games. If you had the ability to play 9 games and then get redshirted, I think that would be incredibly good for the game,
For the sport.
and for the
youngster.
kid. And it's not really going to matter
a
that
degree.
much. It's not going to matter that much anymore for these other guys because when is it, 22?
That's right. It'll sort itself out.
You're not coming to college if you think you're an NBA guy.
I mean, I think that's a really, and I mean this sincerely, a really good cause for somebody with a big voice like Dick Vitale to latch on to.
I wish they would. I mean, if it's happening in football, why shouldn't it be uniform
should.
and happen in other sports?
Now, I don't know what the baseball distribution would be, and we know how the moving parts of scholarships there work.
Right. Well, that's a whole different thing because you don't have as many scholarships. You're talking about what is baseball's got
11.7.
Yeah.
I mean, Willie Mays could come along now and not get a full deal.
I think Willie'd probably get one.
How you gonna have the rest of the team though?
You'd figure out a way.
I'd make room for it.
I think you'd figure out
I bet he could
a
pitch
way.
too.
Guy who's a 5'2" guy. There's no question about that in my mind. So here's what we really do need to discuss at some point. More on the Tiger football game and the Tiger hoops. The Grizz, who were terrific last night, shorthanded.
What they
I'm
go and do
telling
that
you.
for?
All the
Do we want to win?
All the NFL games, I think you do. It's at least exciting to watch them. New college basketball poll is out. The college football playoff poll will be tomorrow. Wow. is all I can say. We got so much to chew on.
We've got a lot to do. This hour brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis. Happy holidays, and hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving from everyone at Lexus of Memphis, 2600 Ridgeway, and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Call them at 901-362-8833. Lexus of Memphis offering the December to Remember sales event. Great offers on all the 2019 models that remain and the 2020s that have rolled in, and always special lease options. Driving luxury and confidence, knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of an all-new 2020 flagship LS500, and you will be looking and driving great. Lexus of Memphis, the high standards in the industry. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and that makes for the luxury driving experience. 362-8833, online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, that's the coaching carousel. There's no question about it.
It goes round and round.
It struck last night at late. I was amazed. 8 o'clock in the evening, the Ole Miss administration decided.
That's when they met. The news started breaking about 4 or so, 5 or so.
They said Matt Luke was gone. They liked Matt Luke, but
Just
not enough W's. I suspect the way the Egg Bowl finished did not help him. I don't know if a win would have made a difference. I don't know if the more antics hurt him at all, but not enough W's is what
6-6-5-7-4-8, and then that display Thursday night did not help.
No, I would agree. Then today, in a very big surprise, Chris Peterson has decided to step down. He will remain with the school sort of as a consultant for athletics, and his defensive coordinator, Jimmy Lake, will now take over. So that's a bit surprising because no one really saw that coming. I think, Chris Peterson's not that old a guy. Barry Odom's dismissal surprised me because Barry came in under some trying circumstances. And
administratively and within the team.
Within the team and within the culture that had permeated that school, not just on the football team, but throughout that campus, with racial division and hostility, and he seemed to overcome it all. And I know they didn't get as many W's. They couldn't have gone to a bowl game anyway, as it turned out, and you have to wonder if that didn't sit in the minds of some of the players as well as the year unfolded. I know he had trouble winning on the road and had that long losing streak.
I saw him the last time they looked good.
Bottom line is, that's the biggest surprise. Peterson's big, but that, I think, was of his own volition. The Barry Odom move at his alma mater, that one is surprising to me.
That one was a surprise. My top story along those lines, most of the big story for me today is Mike Norvell for all that he's accomplished on the field, for winning the West, 11-1. All the speculation now about where he will go next. I will be shocked if it's Ole Miss. He's got other places wanting him. I think it is very good agenting to get a fight for your client. We're still waiting on USC. Is he or isn't he for Clay Helton?
I don't know.
And USC, Mike Norvell, I think, will have really good options. But I also think there will be a lot of boosters here in Memphis that could step up and make him, like Chris Peterson stayed at Boise for so long, finally left, but if they could make him an offer he couldn't refuse. Now, the buyout is very, very light, and that makes it easy for other people. But FSU or USC, those two jobs, if they want Mike Norvell, he can win a national championship there. He can't at Ole Miss, Arkansas, and Missouri.
Stats, I personally think you've just nailed it. I know Mike fairly well. I don't think it's about money. Like you just said, I think, first of all, he's making 2.6. If he wants 3.6, I'm kind of sure that Memphis can find that money.
Yeah,
what I think this is all about for Mike is he's young enough and good enough. And he knows he's good enough. And he wants to prove that he's good enough. He wants to win a national title. If he leaves Memphis, then he will go to a place where you can win a national title. And if you go to Florida State, which to me would be the one that if he went to, he's got the best chance at. If he goes to Florida State, we've seen two coaches, Bobby Bowden and Jimbo Fisher, both win national championships there. We know you can win a national title at that school.
Mike Norvell's what, 38?
Yes.
He's got to be thinking, and he is, and his family and his friends and his advisors, and he's got the best agent in the business advising him, the very best. And anybody that wants to kind of get aggravated at Jimmy Sexton this time of year, if you were in that industry, you would want him fighting for you. That's who he is doing his job.
Absolutely.
And he does it par excellence. I mean, it's great. But Mike's
to have the buyout that he constructed in that deal for Memphis for Mike now, where you can get out of your deal for $500,000, that's astonishing.
Yeah, it is.
That just goes to show you he works for his client.
Mike's got to be thinking, what do I want my career to look like 45 and at 50? And that's somewhere where he can win a national championship. I'm still waiting for SC to open. And I think when Jimmy is at his very, very best, he's always really good. He's a really, spirit of full disclosure, he's a friend of mine, friend of Dave's, friend of ours, been really good to both of us on a lot of things. So I have a soft spot for him, and I love his dad, Dr. Sexton, so very much. Mm-hmm. But Jimmy is at his best, I think, this time of year when he's negotiating the guy that's exiting, like Clay Helton probably will, and the guy entering.
Has he got Clay too?
Yeah.
McVee might have had Clay from back here in the Memphis days.
He does.
I mean, it's
the best. He's the best.
That is true. And there is no doubt
an extraordinarily good person.
That he has a great deal of sway as to where guys go. He is a power broker. There is no question about it.
Not top story of the day.
Well, Mike disclosed today, I don't know if he disclosed the injury, and I don't think I'm in a position where I can, but it's suffice to say TJ Carter's out for the rest of the year. He will not play against Cincinnati, and so we've already discussed this just a bit. The Tigers' left corner, who's been in that position for 3 straight years now, will not be able to make it for this championship game.
I really like how Mississippi State's now reporting injuries. It's either upper body or lower body. If it's shoulder or ribs or noodle or whatever, it's upper. If it's knee, hip, foot, ankle, it's lower. Upper body injury or lower body injury. Yeah. So is it upper or lower for TJ?
It is lower.
Okay. Noodle, I meant dome. Not top story for me. It is championship weekend, but it could be pretty clean come Sunday morning for the CFP committee. If chalk reigns, Ohio State, LSU, Clemson, that's easy, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody could even come close to arguing that. Then you could have a good debate between Utah and OU. I'm not going to lose friends or fight over either one of them. I can't really reject either easily or confirm one over the other one very easily. When it was drawn up, Bill Hancock said this with me this summer on these airwaves and you. They knew it was 4 spots and 5 power leagues. Somebody's going to be left out.
The worst part, though, is, in my mind, if LSU loses to Georgia.
I said if chalk, you're going the F scenario.
Then there's going to be 2 leagues that are out.
It is.
Because I think you would take, even if Utah wins big in the Pac-12 championship, you're taking LSU over them.
And I think no matter what, no, if you had 3 from a league or, heaven forbid, 4 from a league, that would move the dynamic to go to 8 faster. But here are the confirmed sites for championship games in the future. This year's in New Orleans. Next year's in Miami. The year after that, 2022 is in Indianapolis. And then they're contracted all the way through the new dome in Los Angeles in 23. They don't change anything before 23. They're going to go through those sites that are already determined. 2024 is not.
If you did not have a Pac-12 team in 23, that would look bad.
Mm-hmm.
And you haven't had a Pac-12 team in, 2 years?
I think since Chris Peterson's bunch, wasn't it?
I think that's right.
Or was Oregon in there?
I think that is right.
Chris Peterson got in there with UW.
Whew. Lots to chew on. That is for sure. Can't wait to see where they have it tomorrow night, but I think we already know. I don't think
pretty chalky.
It's going to be pretty chalky, and it's very simple for Memphis along those lines. They're the highest-rated team. They're 16th in the country now in the new poll, and both of them yesterday. They're above everybody.
High Hardman, what would you rather have back, the first quarter on-field performance at Temple or the disputed call? You can have one of those 2 back. Which one would you like back?
don't think the disputed call ends up being any different because you're still hosting the championship game. You'd still be playing Cincinnati. Wouldn't matter if you're undefeated. And I don't think if you lost...
But if you're undefeated, you want crazy to happen this weekend, don't you?
You're not getting
Can it get that
Come
crazy?
on. Are you serious?
But you can't even dream
that
of it unless you got a
UCF,
zero out there.
wait. That's the UCF team that was perfect.
But you could claim a national championship like they did.
Well, no. You have to win your New Year's Day Six Bowl against a team that wins the national championship.
That's where I was going to have that first quarter back on the field. This is the worst quarter they played all year.
It was.
That or maybe Southern U, week 2.
It was. We are busy. We've got medals coming your way in just a minute. David Cobb on the Grizzlies, who keep on winning. Well, I shouldn't say keep on winning. They ended a bad losing streak. But, man, they're competitive every game. They're fun to watch. They really are. Then John Thompson, our friend JT, will get his thoughts on the college football playoffs. Same thing with Barrett Jones. He comes your way at 5. Then we get ready for Monday Night Football. I got a nice little nugget I just saw for tonight's game between the Vikings and Seattle. We'll do our Big 4. Actually, with Seattle, it's their Big 8 because we've already done them once this year. And then we've got crunch time. Man, we're busy, but we're having fun. On Sports Time with Wolo and Stats, brought to you in part by Family Leisure, where I think that man cave sale still is going on. They should have it on all the way through Christmas, wouldn't you think? Because don't you want that man cave? Don't you want those 3-piece theater seating sets for under $1,000? Yeah, $999. Massage chair starting at under $700. Shuffleboard table starting at $19.99. Pool tables at $14.99. You can complete your man cave today, and if you haven't gotten on the list for pool closure, please do. And if you mention us, you get $20 off. Family Leisure, 70,000 square feet of family, of fun, and the man cave sale all going on at I-40 and Whidden Road. Back in just a minute. This is Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy get you through the midday with Sports 56 Middays. Delivered by FedEx. Weekdays from 10 till 1 on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Jim Gray from Westwood One here with a Monday Night Football preview. Week 13 wraps up in Seattle with a great NFC matchup between the Seahawks and the Vikings. Russell Wilson and Seattle moved to 9-2 last week with their 4th straight win. Among the quarterback stat leaders, Wilson is quick to share the credit.
We have a plethora of things that we can do, and that's challenging for the defense. And we've got a lot of great receivers, tight ends, and running backs. And then I think we do a great job in the scramble situations, too, that makes us tough on defenses. So we want to keep going, and we want to keep being able to run the football because running the ball controls a lot because it helps set everything else up.
At 8-3, Kirk Cousins and Minnesota are coming off their bye week, having won 6 of their last 7 games. Kevin Harlan and Hall of Famer Kurt Warner will have the call on Monday Night Football.
Remember to listen to Westwood One's coverage of the NFL all season long, right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
'Tis the season to get the job done right. At AutoZone, we've got great deals on awesome products to help you spread the cheer this year. Right now, save $30 when you buy a 180-piece Duralast Mechanics tool set. It's perfectly portable, so getting the job done on the go is a breeze. And Duralast tools are guaranteed for life, which means it really is the gift that keeps on giving. Celebrating the holidays with a job well done starts here. Visit AutoZone.com and we'll help you get what you need. Restrictions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
In general, I'm a win-win guy. When I have to spend hours searching for the right part, it's lose-lose. It's time lost for me and lost time for my crew. That's why I order from Grainger. With product experts that have the answers to my toughest questions, an easy-to-use website to help me find the right product quickly, I can rely on Grainger to make getting supplies for my business as simple and seamless as possible. When it comes to getting things done, it's a win-win when Grainger's got your back. Call clickgrainger.com or stop by to see for yourself. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Are you overworked and underpaid in that employment rut with no promotion in sight, or did you just lose your job? Then you need to contact the experts at Pro Resume. Go to proresume.biz or call 685-1950, the fastest way to a new job.
Hi, folks. Rob Walker, General Manager, Infinity of Memphis, your source of calm and logic in an otherwise hectic and chaotic holiday season. In that regard, I'm here to tell you that we won't be participating in Black Friday. We've all been led to believe that Black Friday is the day for very special deals. If you get out of bed at some ridiculous hour, stand in line in the cold, and risk life and limb in what usually ends up in a stampede. Getting a special deal on a new vehicle should never be that difficult. In fact, it should be easy, simple, and fun. And that's what we do Monday through Saturday, 52 weeks a year. I say, bah humbug to Black Friday. It's too complicated and restrictive. The Infinity Limited Engagement Winter Event with the most attractive offers of the year on the entire line of Infinity Luxury Performance Vehicles is on through January 2nd. Come see us at your convenience.
Find out more about this and all other offers online at infinityofmemphis.com.
Can't you give me 5 more minutes?
Country music star Scotty McCreery will be at this year's AutoZone Liberty Bowl, and you want to be there too.
This is it. This is now.
The American Idol winner will perform at the President's Gala on December 30th at the Peabody and at halftime of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game on December 31st. Get your tickets today by calling 795-7700. The Tennessee Highway Safety Office reminds you that fans don't let fans drive drunk.
Now, back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Wolochen and Brett Norsworthy.
What's that?
Welcome back in. It's a little slower week this week, right?
Last week was crazy.
Just 2 basketball games and a championship game, that's all. For the University of Memphis. Grizzlies home tonight, too.
Mm-hmm.
Hot Grizzlies after last night. Time for us, as we always do, to give out some precious metals. Brett, I'm going to start off with the Baltimore Ravens.
That's Drew's Baltimore Ravens, Dave.
Yes.
You know, like your 49ers?
I sort of did this for Bruce. Drew's sake.
That's Drew.
Yeah, I did. The Ravens are now, did you see? They're favored to win the AFC.
Why wouldn't they be?
They got the break on the New England Patriots.
All the Coach of the Year stuff. How come not more love for Harbaugh?
I don't know.
I think Shanahan deserves a lot of love with Dave's Niners.
Oh, I do too.
I think Mike Tomlin with the Steelers closing strong down the stretch.
Why is it we choose to always pick on the negative side? Like people want to go after Jim Harbaugh, but don't want to give John Harbaugh the credit they should be giving.
Because he's the sane one of the Harbaughs.
He's the sane one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not as
that is true. That is very true. But, you know, he's got the real deal.
You know the whole
Lamar
squeaky
Jackson.
wheel thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's kind of Jim.
But look, this kid, Lamar Jackson, does everything. I mean, even in bad weather, he wasn't passing the ball great, but he had over 100 yards running the ball.
For all that we have said through the years about Bobby Petrino, we will give him credit as offensive genius. We'll do that, won't we? For Bobby Petrino?
Yes. I think that's the only thing I'll give him.
He told the Little Rock Touchdown Club about a month ago that in offensive game planning meetings, smartest offensive player he's ever been associated with was Lamar Jackson.
Really? Well, he's smart on the field, too. He knows when to run and when not to.
There's a punchline there. And somebody said, you mean not Ryan Mallett at Arkansas?
Yeah. But that is interesting that he said that. I got to give a bronze medal to the Michigan basketball team. Did you see where they are in the new poll? They're number 4.
Juwan Howard from Fab 5 to Fab 1.
How about this, though? He goes from not being ranked to number 4. I believe that ties for the greatest entry ever.
I think it's time for Michigan to kiss and make up with the Fab Five. Have their night, raise their banner.
I think they'd be willing to. It's the Fab Five that didn't want to. I've always thought it's on the players.
It's a little like John and Paul and George and Ringo. They didn't want to get back together.
No.
I think there's some bad blood.
Mm-hmm.
But Ray Jackson, Jimmy King, Jalen Rose, Juwan Howard, Chris Webber.
I think Webber is the one that's the most reticent.
I think he's the Yoko Ono of the group.
But he shouldn't be that way. He's doing just fine. He's become one of the number one college basketball
I think he's gotten
analysts.
really good.
I think he's gotten better
on NBA.
Yeah,
he's good.
Yeah, I mean he's sitting in a great position. The only thing Chris Webber really ever did totally wrong was call the timeout, and it really wasn't his fault. He had an assistant coach who could see it on the video.
He got replaced last
that was
Thursday
telling
night
him
his bonehead move in sports at the Egg Bowl.
Oh, I don't. As bonehead as that was, that's not on the same national scope as what occurred with the Fab Five in that Final Four asking for the timeout.
Yeah,
but I really don't think it's Weber's
Webber
fault.
was heat of competition, not stunt.
Right, that's true.
Not detached from reality.
Especially since you already know it was done one other time and it was chided.
So you didn't think I sounded like a lunatic on postgame?
No,
Thursday night.
But I didn't hear your strongest statement. You did in your statement that I heard say that we'll never know how it would have finished, but we certainly shot ourselves in the foot.
No, I said it was most self-inflicted wounds. They're usually mortal, and that one was. But no, I started with indefensibly disgraceful.
Yeah, I didn't catch that one. Because what we
and my head was about to explode.
Yeah, we were coming back from New York.
Drew, you worked the game here.
Yes, I did.
You didn't think I sounded like a maniac?
No, I didn't. I thought you handled it pretty well.
Could you hear me during the break?
No, I couldn't.
Good.
So you did not handle it well during the break? Is that what you're saying?
I did not, Dave. Nor on the drive to Tuscaloosa later that night when I was by myself.
I bet. I can see you losing it just a little bit there.
Yes.
I absolutely could. I've got to give a silver medal to Lincoln Perry, the Houston High School running back. I think he's worthy of that. Took his team to the semifinals. In his career, he had 5,645 yards. That's a pretty darn good career. How about this? This year, 2,791 yards and 35 touchdowns. That's a year. I don't know. I think military schools have offered him. I heard he kind of wanted to go to the University of Memphis. I don't know that for a fact.
I wish people would quit dancing around the preferred walk-on stuff. And is he the greatest Houston High Mustang since R. John Harden?
Since John Harden, yes.
John, who would be the Mount Rushmore of seriously? Who would be the Mount Rushmore of Houston players?
Right now, I mean, Lincoln Perry and Matt Cain are way high up there. And Matt Cain, we know what he did and how much money he made.
Now,
and
football,
did in the World
just
Series.
football.
Oh, just football.
And Perry's.
Where you excelled for years as a Mustang.
Lincoln Perry
from
broke
the secondary to wishbone quarterback.
The guy that he broke his record,
To
Lincoln
post-game-
Perry's record, he's on there. Who
to
was
post-game victory party stardom.
Well, nobody can take
We
him.
had so many good running backs. I can't remember from Juice to Cullen Bryant to, goodness.
Young Bryant was great.
Yeah, he was.
Abe Felix.
Yeah. Abe Felix is the guy. You know what made me cringe?
And don't forget David Nugent's got Super Bowl rings.
Abe Felix is like 36 years old now.
Yeah. Well, John has grandchildren.
That's true.
John's a granddad.
I think it would be safe.
Which remains the upset of all time.
I would think this is a truism.
Did a good kind of upset, John.
The most valuable post-game partier would be John Harden.
Friday night victory parties.
I don't think anybody beat him out. I don't
In a
think
league
Perry
of his
could.
own.
Abe Felix couldn't.
League of his
Matt
own.
Cain. I don't think anybody could beat him in that
He's
department.
still having Friday night victory parties for when Houston wins. He hopes so.
Is that right? Just remember, if you've given to your school, you're a booster.
That's right, John.
By the way, did you hear, I don't know if you did, D'Angelo Williams came on the radio network postgame show. He was hilarious. hilarious.
He's great.
He was euphoric over the victory, but he was funny mentioning about how he's a booster and now he knows it. And then my gold medal goes to the Tiger football team. First ever season where you got 11 regular season wins. It was, by the way, the 500th program win. How about that? In a championship where you
That should be on the ring.
Back to back.
That should be on the
to
ring
back.
somewhere.
I'm with you. Back to back to back. Is that not incredible? And I got to give.
Going to be a big
And
old
I
ring.
really give this to Norvell because there have been at least 2 coordinators and maybe 3 that are special teams coordinators. In his career, he has now had 11 kick returns for touchdowns. 11. Memphis had 4 this year from different guys.
Well, I think that is the mark, especially of a younger coach, again, 38 years old, of a really good coach when he gets the handle on special teams. My bronze medal goes to Deshaun Watson. He gets the win last night over TB12. Also, a bronze medal goes to the Ravens and 49ers. Give me that game for a Super Bowl, and I'm going to give a bronze to the Clippers. They go over $150. Silver goes to Lynn Bowden at Kentucky. If it wasn't for Joe Burrow, he would be SEC Player of the Year this year, Offensive Player of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
He's had a Hines Ward-type effort for UK. They won Saturday with 4 yards passing. Silver medal goes to Bo Nix. He was really good in his first Iron Bowl as a player, but he cut his teeth on going to that game. And a silver medal to Mississippi State, lost in all the stuff that occurred late in the game. I don't know if Mississippi State's gotten the credit that they deserve and for the plan that they had going into the game and the execution. They were not letting John Rice Plumlee get wide. He wasn't getting outside the hash marks, and he didn't all night. Give State that credit. My gold goes to Gus Malzahn. He really outfoxed Nick Saban at the end of that game. Crafty move, solid quarterback play from Bo Nix, and now 2 of the last 3 in the Iron Bowl. Gold goes to Tigers. AAC championship game, hosting upward for this program. Gold goes to Joe Burrow. 4,366 yards passing and 44 touchdowns.
Wow.
Spectacular. No shocker on who's going to win the Heisman. And final goal goes to Tigers dismantling of NC State. Your Rust?
Joe Burrow, by the way, could actually end up with 5,000 yards.
And Dave, officially, and thank you, you were a big help. Official, finally, Heisman Trophy voter.
You are?
Yeah.
You get your thing today?
I did.
Congratulations.
What?
I will give the powers that be a gold medal for giving you
finally
a vote.
Dave was instrumental. Jimmy Himes very instrumental. And when Jimmy asked me, do I want to be? I said, Jimmy, I've only been begging for 25 years for it.
There you go. So who are you voting for? You better not say.
I can't say, Dave. I'm
you
embargoed.
better not say.
I'm embargoed.
My Rust, I got 2. I got to give one Rust to the American Athletic Conference. And I didn't think about this until I was listening to you and Bruce Marshall. When Bruce said to not have 2 teams play back-to-back, all you have to do is put somebody from the other division.
People be listening to this. It's going to come back up again later
All you have
today.
to do is have your division your last game.
It's going to be part of the Germantown Commissary. Big Q of the day later.
I mean, is that not stupid? Just have somebody from your side as the last game, and you'll never have to play back-to-back against the other side. I mean, it's that simple. How did the AAC not get that?
I don't know, but now we're going to have this, and and all the pressures on the Tigers in more ways than one.
And then my final Rust goes to Phil, and I'm talking
Lefty.
Phil Mickelson, who's decided, even though Phoenix used to be where he lived, Phoenix has always been good to him. He's skipping Phoenix
Taking
because they're giving him big money to go to Saudi Arabia. And he goes, well, it looks like such an interesting course. When I saw Dustin Johnson win it last year, that is a bunch of bull. You're going for the money.
No question about it. I got several Russ. Freddie Kitchens. When Freddie Kitchens was announced as permanent coach of the Browns, I said, when I knew of him and knew him a little and covered him, there was kind of the good Freddie and bad Freddie. The worst parts of Freddie Kitchens are showing as head coach of the Cleveland Browns, so I give him a Russ.
I got to believe he's not going to see another year.
But that franchise, well, what a joke. Russ goes to Jim Harbaugh, Mike Leach, and Nick Saban for their post-game comments. I know it was all in the heat of defeat, in the agony of defeat, and in rival games. But I thought they all made too many excuses. And Jim Harbaugh, he's been good at Michigan. He just hadn't done what he was hired to do.
He's been really good at Michigan.
He's been really good.
But he's
0-5
against Ohio State. And,
he's been really good.
And I hate to say this because I really do like Jim. Part of it is my Bear connection. But I don't understand how he could make that statement to that reporter after that game, who basically said, tell us about the gap between you and Ohio State. I mean, for goodness sake, you've lost the last 2 games by 50-something points, and you haven't beaten them yet.
It's the Donner pass.
Just tell us what it is.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, I'm not going to answer insults. No, it was clearly a question.
No insult. It was a question.
And he came off looking really bad, I think.
And Mike Leach did, and Coach Saban did as well. And finally, rust of maybe the year, maybe of all time, to Elijah Moore. He made a great play to split the 2 defenders and get in the end zone. We'll give him credit for that. Spectacular play, and then indefensible. Disgraceful.
Well,
shameful. And sadly for him, now a Google search the rest of his life for sports' most selfish person on the field to play.
For a while. Here's
Tell me how that gets topped.
Here's how. There have been other people that have done bonehead things at the end of games because they were selfish that have cost their team big wins. The only way he gets off that stage, well, you just said somebody else does it, but if he ends up, he's only a sophomore, correct? He's there for at least 1 more year. And he clearly was the best receiver Ole Miss had all year.
He was the only
long.
receiver.
And frankly, whoever he's playing for next year, coach, he's going to be the best weapon they got. And he hopefully will learn from this and go on and maybe have an NFL career. And then you have a whole new chapter, and this is just a bump in your road.
But that was premeditated. That was choreographed. He had spent some time practicing that.
I don't know if he spent time practicing it, but he spent time thinking about it.
Okay, at minimum thinking about it. And it was a bill 2 years in the making being repaid because it was too much chuckling and laughter about DK doing it 2 years ago. And then it got repeated. Look what happened. Bad form.
Bad form for sure. And those are our top and not top stories of the day. We'll read a couple of texts from the First Bank text line when we come back. Drew, you're frowning. What's your problem?
You said top and not top story. We just finished precious metals there, Dave.
Oh, precious metals. You're right. Wow.
Hey, it's a Monday.
I'm out of practice.
I know.
I've been gone a week.
Even for Dave, it's like riding a bicycle.
No.
We'll get
obviously, that Wolo, you get a rust for that.
You do.
I get a rust.
I think I'm fine.
Of course you think I'm fine.
I second it.
I think 2 points on the picks.
No way.
I second that.
Oh, no way. There's nothing.
Hey, Dave?
Oh, no. You know what?
Wait to see
that, by the way, reminds me when we come back, we'll also have to go over where we are in the Pick'em contest.
We will.
It's a lot like golf. This portion of the show brought to you by the Spirit Shop. Oh, man. I hope Eddie Connor and his family, I hope they had a great Thanksgiving. I know my wife actually stopped by right before Thanksgiving to make sure we were stocked up. We all loved going there. That's the little log cabin right at Poplar and St. Nick. We're there now like once a quarter, 4848 Poplar Avenue to be exact. You go in there and you'll find every spirit you could possibly want. You'll get bargains, you'll get premium. And that could be tequila, it could be bourbon, it could be the finest of wines. It could be beer, it could be those new little cocktails in a can, it could be accessories. They've got it all, and if they don't have it, and this is the truth, I've had 4 or 5 people, and it happened to me, where I went there and I said, you know what, there's this winery in Washington. Could you see if you could get some of that for me? He'll call the winery to get it. It is service beyond compare. That's the Spirit Shop at Poplar and St. Nick. Back in a minute. This is Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
Search Sports 56 on Facebook and give us a like. And follow us on Twitter at Sports 56 WHBQ.
The Season of Performance event is going on now at Acura of Memphis. Choose from a large selection of Acura of Memphis's entire lineup. The Acura TLX with premium tech and exceptional performance. Or drive the 3-row, 7-passenger SUV, the Acura MDX. Or Acura of Memphis' top-selling luxury crossover, the Acura RDX. Stop in and take advantage of special year-end pricing as well as incredible lease and financing options. Visit AcuraofMemphis.com.
Pop Wigington has been in the restaurant business since the 70s and has now brought 3 generations of family favorites together under one roof at Pop's Comfort Kitchen, 2990 Kirby Whitten Parkway next to Kroger. Pop's takes you back to a simpler time when food and life was more wholesome. Settle down today for lunch or dinner at Pop's with daily specials like country fried steak, fried catfish, chicken and dumplings, or Pop's famous fried chicken livers, all served up with your choice of 23 fresh vegetables like field peas and snaps, seasoned green beans, sweet corn and turnip greens. Hungry for a sandwich? Check out the Chuck, a hand-patted cheeseburger between 2 grilled cheese buns topped with lettuce, tomato, diced onion, pickles, fried egg, and bacon. Or a half-pound flat iron steak sandwich served on Texas toast. Don't forget one of Grandma's homemade desserts like chess pie or banana pudding. Take comfort today at Pop's Comfort Kitchen, 2990 Kirby Whitten Parkway next to Kroger. Pop's Comfort Kitchen.
Need physical therapy but don't know where to go? Tried physical therapy but had a bad experience? Grab your physician's referral and head to Revolution Physical Therapy at the corner of Goodman and Getwell. At Revolution PT, you'll get one-on-one, hands-on therapy. Better and more thorough than just going to the gym. Revolution is locally owned and staffed by neighbors who care about your maximum recovery. And they accept all major insurances. Certified in dry needling, expert in myofascial release. Always relaxed and friendly. Revolution Physical Therapy is just what you need.
Pop the top on your next party. 34 North Cocktails. Available in Memphis now. Great for football grove parties, around the hunting campfire, and when you get home, entertain friends. Pop a premium can of Barrel Thief. Tastes just like an old-fashioned Barrel Thief made with aged bourbon, bitters, a hint of orange, a touch of vanilla, 15% ABV. Then, for you vodka lovers, try Sneaky Pucker, a refreshing lemonade premium vodka cocktail, 12.5% ABV. Made with super premium vodka, lavender, simple syrup, and lemonade. Delicious and smooth. Let the party begin with 34 North Cocktails.
In today's evolving workplace, XMC understands the process of getting office work done has moved from the desktop to your pocket. The new Xerox multifunctional printers and Connect Key app technology are game changers. Are you working with confidential information? Does it need to be secure from unwanted threats? Do you need to translate documents to another language? Xerox's App Gallery provides solutions like secure printing and easy translator technology. XMC is the second largest exclusive Xerox agent in the U.S. with 9 locations to serve you. We've been in business for over 25 years and have received top awards from Xerox. In changing our world one experience at a time, our team's committed to doing what's right for your business. XMC is proud to be your leader in document and print management, and it'd be our pleasure to serve you. Contact XMC today at 888-814-3114 or visit our website at xmcinc.com. XMC, excellence in office solutions.
Now, back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Sports 56 and 87.7 FM. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Wolochen and Brett Noseworthy.
Welcome back in. Wolo and Stats on a chilly, wintry kind of Monday. Should point out the Amateur Sports Hall of Fame for Memphis. Their ceremony is tonight, and there's a lot of nice people. Our friend Andy Fletcher is going to be inducted, one of 12 that will be put in.
Great.
Looking forward to seeing that myself this evening. So we get some texts. One guy goes, "Have you heard any rumors about Art Briles to Ole Miss?"
Zero.
I've
Never
heard
happened.
strong ones. That's not going to happen. There's
Zero.
just no way that is going to happen.
You need to get your new sources.
I want to apologize to.
We just didn't know.
The Abe Felix family. I had said he was something like 36 because that's what I thought he was. Apparently, he had passed away a couple of years ago, maybe in 2015.
Right. We're very sorry.
My condolences, and I'm really sorry. I thought I do remember Abe because I was doing his games on TV and remembered what a great player he was. So sorry that he passed away at such a young age.
Dexter also asked about Mike Leach. I'm going to say what I've always said about Mike Leach in the SEC. I think it's great. I think it's a wonderful idea at somebody else's school.
I'd take him. I like Mike Leach. I think he'd be interesting. I don't know what that was all about. It was like Harbaugh. I thought Mike was off base.
Very.
With his comments.
Very off.
Unless that particular writer / columnist, whatever he was, and he have a history that is not good, and he felt he was taking cheap shots. I don't know that.
He did go 6-6 this year.
I know. It was not a good year. Especially he won one game early that looked like this was going to be another good year for him. He never had a quarterback like he did with.
Well, this guy's set all kind of records.
I know. I don't think he played that well this year at all.
You can't have mensanity every year, though.
Somebody also was talking about reporters pushing Harbaugh. I certainly didn't see any
pushing.
push.
It's a new definition
in
of push.
That one. Yeah.
I mean, the tone was not a pushy one, I didn't think.
One last texter at the First Bank text line 67129 says something about Memphis playing Alabama, if that's the case. Now, Memphis has to win Saturday. If they do, they'll be in the Cotton Bowl, and Alabama could be one of the people they could play. Florida could be in there. Baylor could be in there. Notre Dame could be in there.
What a matchup.
It's going to be great no matter what. I'm most leery of Alabama. I think that's the point that the texter was making. I've heard plenty that want to take on Alabama.
I think Memphis can move the ball on anybody. I think they can score. Well, look, Ole Miss scored 31 on Alabama at Bryant-Denny Stadium.
True.
So I think Memphis
and Auburn just scored a whole lot of points
45
on Alabama.
45. And it was easy. I mean, that was settling for a lot of field goals for Auburn.
Yeah. So.
No, they just scored 48. 48. That's why you rolled your eyes at me.
Yeah. 48-45.
I know that look.
Yeah. The point is this.
That look was correct.
If we get into the Cotton Bowl, I don't care who we play.
No kid.
You kidding me?
Texter wants
Cotton
to know,
Bowl?
wondering what our take is on LSU, not number one with the resume and best quarterback in the nation. Just don't sweat it. Win Saturday. You're going to be in the football playoff. I know seeding matters. We'd probably prefer to go to Atlanta. But you're going to be down having to win 2 games.
If you
got the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, don't sweat it, LSU fans. You got a great team.
If you beat Georgia, and you beat them handily, and Ohio State, say, struggles with Wisconsin,
might flip.
You're number one. But you know what? Doesn't matter. You're playing 4-0.
That's right. You're there.
Yeah, you're there.
You win 3 more games, there's going to be a big old trophy come with it.
I think the team you got to watch out for in the dark horse here is Utah. We just don't know, and they're a better team, I think, than people think. We'll find out again Saturday, won't we? That's the beauty of Championship Saturday. This portion of the show is brought to you by Supercuts. 15 locations now. Go to supercuts.com. You find the location nearest to you. Walk through the door. Ask about any of the haircuts, any of the new fashion trends. They know them. That's their job. They're all about details. Details matter. And you're always going to walk out feeling good because you're going to look good. You look good, you feel good. It's sort of connected. The other thing is every haircut ends with the hot towel finish. That feels good, too. You feel invigorated while you feel relaxed all at the same time. I'm telling you, it is a great deal. Supercuts. You always look good when you walk out. We take the time out. When we come back, it'll be time to talk a little Grizz. David Cobb, beat writer for the Commercial Appeal. He is next on Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
Who wants to go see some lights?
Funny thing about the holidays is nothing flies by faster.
Hey guys, want to build a snowman? Yay! Ready to open presents? Yay! Excited for New Year's? Woo! Who's ready to go back to school?
Well, actually, the Lexus December to Remember sales event also goes by fast. That's because for a very limited time, you'll find some of our best offers on our most popular models. But don't wait. Offers end January 2nd. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Lexus of Memphis.
Pop the top on your next party. 34 North Cocktails. Available in Memphis now. Great for football grove parties, around the hunting campfire, and when you get home, entertain friends. Pop a premium can of Barrel Thief. Tastes just like an old-fashioned Barrel Thief made with aged bourbon, bitters, a hint of orange, a touch of vanilla, 15% ABV. Then, for you vodka lovers, try Sneaky Pucker, a refreshing lemonade premium vodka cocktail, 12.5% ABV, made with super premium vodka, lavender, simple syrup, and lemonade. Delicious and smooth. Let the party begin with 34 North Cocktails.
Hi, I'm Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. If you need a roof for your home or business, we hope to hear from you and we will work hard to earn your business. We are experts and certified in residential and commercial roofing, siding, and gutter installation. We have been serving the Memphis area for over 20 years, and now with 2 of my sons working with me, we plan to be here for many years to come. So if you need a roof, please give us a call. On a personal note, what a great time to be a Memphis sports fan. With the Grizzlies' new look, the Redbirds, the 901 FC, and the Tigers football and basketball teams, it's going to be a fun year. Thank you to Coach Norvell, Coach Hardaway, and their staffs for your dedication to your student athletes, the University of Memphis, and to fans like me who have waited forever to have both the football and basketball teams ranked at the same time. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshyn and Brett Norsworthy.
Happy holidays. I love this time of year. I love I absolutely love the ornaments. And you know what? I've heard some people go, oh, man, they're coming out so early now. They're doing it before Thanksgiving.
My tree's up.
And I'm going, you know what? If it's joyous, I'm for it.
My tree's up. Puts me in a good mood. See my tree? See my sports-themed tree?
Yeah.
I sent when I was decorating.
You sent me the...
I sent you Gail Sayre or...
Peyton?
Walter Payton and Dick Buckus.
I said you were missing Gail Sayre.
Right. Hallmark's never made it. Blame it on them.
Well, what? I think we should petition Hallmark.
I think we should, too. Got Willie Mays on here twice.
Oh, wow.
Making the catch and batting.
Really?
See him at the top batting?
Oh, yeah, I see him batting.
See him at the bottom with the catch?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you see what tops it this year? Augusta National ornament.
Oh, my goodness.
Superimposed with the green, kind of hard to see.
Yeah. Huh.
My tree's ready.
What made you go with that as your topper?
Well, like the year that Poppy Ortiz hit 680 against the Cardinals, he was on the top. Eli Manning won a Super Bowl, he was on the top. Peyton on Super
Papa Ortiz against you, and you still put it up there?
It was that good. And
let me tell you,
best time I had at sports this year.
If somebody did that to me, there's no way that's on top of my tree. Of course, I don't have a tree, but
he was that good.
Saying.
You see Cal Ripken, Drew?
Yeah, I have that one.
Yeah.
Is he broken up? You know,
got Archie and Eli and Peyton by each other. See them?
Huh. Wow, that is a cool tree. I must say, very cool for sure. It's that time of week when we get to talk to a cool guy ourselves. That would be David Cobb, beat writer of the Grizzlies for the Commercial Appeal. Happy Thanksgiving. Did you have a good Thanksgiving, David? Did you get any time with family?
I got a little bit of time with family. To say that Thanksgiving was good, though, would be to omit the part where I get shingles and have been on the couch for most of the last 3 days.
You got shingles?
David, you're the youngest person I've ever heard.
I was just going to say that you're way too young. You know what? You got to be 50, but I've gotten two different types of shots for shingles.
I've gotten one, $225 for the shot.
I don't even know what they were worth.
It
was.
Oh, yeah, Dave.
Seriously.
It was worth it.
Now, I got to
Like-
ask you this, even though none of us are doctors, but I'm imagining that you've got this knowledge now. Will you be able to get a shingle shot when this goes away
And
to
not get it
prevent it
again?
from
Well,
getting in the future?
It's possible that I could get it one more time, the disease, but I don't think it would be as bad next time. I think I would be able to spot it pretty early because there were now the things that I look back on. I'm like, oh well, now that I understand this disease, like clearly that was a sign that I had shingles, And anyway, so yeah, I don't
It's
think I'll
rough
need
stuff.
the vaccine. I don't think I'll need it because I'll know early on, like, this is nothing. It's nothing to mess around with.
Oh, man.
Y'all remember several years ago when Tony La Russa had it in his eye area, and it looked like
That's
somebody.
like dangerous.
Yeah,
you can lose your vision.
It looked like somebody had beat him.
I know older people that have had it that basically it made them retire from what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, thankfully, I'm back on the beat tonight. I'll be at the Forum.
Can't keep a good man down.
Thankful to modern medicine and youthfulness. I don't know. There might still be some long-term effects, but the like me laying on the couch and just being miserable portion of it is over. So I'm
that's
glad for
good,
that.
Dave.
I'm really happy to hear that. So you were not in Minneapolis last night, then?
No, thank goodness.
Yeah.
But I will be on the 4-game trip. Leaving tomorrow, actually, for Chicago. And then they go from Chicago out to Salt Lake, out to Golden State, and then Phoenix. So tied for the longest road trip of the year for the Grizzlies, and it's coming up at a time when they're looking pretty shorthanded.
Well, I was very impressed last night when you consider there was no Ja, there was no Valanciunas, there was no Kyle Anderson. For the most part, there was no Triple J because he, again, got in foul trouble and fouled himself out of the game. And yet there's Dylan Brooks, and there's Melton, and there's Caboclo, and there's Jones.
I mean, Grayson Allen played well.
Great,
as
yeah.
well.
I mean, these guys who you would never have thought of being a big part of a win came in and saved the day.
Yeah, I didn't really know what to make of that. I mean, this is a Minnesota team that's trying to be good. I mean, and that the Grizzlies beat when they were at full strength
Beat 'em
in
twice.
Memphis. So, yeah, I had no expectation of Minnesota coming out and looking that terrible. I mean, Minnesota looked terrible. To let that Memphis team go into your house and do that, I mean, that's just. I mean, to me, that's embarrassing. Like, I don't know. It was baffling almost. But credit to the Grizzlies, man. I mean, the intensity from them was insane. I mean, some of these road games where they've kind of gotten their butts kicked, you watch and you just feel like, for whatever, I'm not saying the guys aren't giving effort, that the guys don't care, they don't have heart. That's not what I'm saying. It's just like, for whatever reason, the right concoction of go get it is not there. And for whatever reason it was last night, and I think maybe part of that was they probably felt like they had nothing to lose. They probably felt like, well, you know what, I can go out here and just play as hard as I can. It doesn't matter if I make a mistake. I'm still going to get my minutes tonight. Like, there's no other choice. So I think there was some of that sort of recklessness, sort of that carelessness, and that lended itself to a big time effort and a really compelling, surprising win that don't overlook this part. Snapped a 6-game losing streak. I mean, if they don't get that one last night, I don't know how this upcoming stretch is going to go. And so for them to get a win under those circumstances last night, I think that was really big, kind of for the first half of this season.
So they're responding well to Taylor Jenkins, you would say.
Yeah, I mean, it's too early to issue a full verdict, but I think so far so good. Yeah, I think so far so good on that front. I mean, I'm not saying that Taylor's done a perfect job on the front, but I think generally speaking,
with the hand that's been dealt.
I think they respect him. I think they respect him, which is the most important thing for a young first-time head coach. I think as much as he can at this point, he's got their respect. I see often after practice, he will be sitting and talking and having a long conversation with a certain player, and it typically is a player who hasn't played well recently. And oftentimes, they've been able to get guys like that turned around, and start, guys who have had prolonged slumps has then turned it around. And obviously some guys are still not playing up to the level that maybe some people expected. Jaron and Marco, two that come to mind, have not had fantastic starts to the season. But they've both shown flashes. I just think that to this point, with the hand that he was given, Taylor's done about as good of a job as you could reasonably expect.
Who do you think and I'm not going to ask you the opposite, but who do you think has responded the best to him that you see developing? We've used this word already once today, some symmetry, some symbiosis, some synchronicity with him.
I think the most encouraging candidate possible, that's John Morant.
That's very important.
Yeah, I think if you go back and if you watch the preseason games, and even the first regular season game at Miami, the John Morant that played in those handful of games is not the same John Morant that busted onto the scene, early on, probably 2 or 3 games into the regular season. It's not the same John Morant who carried the Grizzlies to fourth quarter wins against, the Nets and Timberwolves. The list goes on and on. There was a switch there that I think the coaching staff helped flip, where they had just all along with Ja had said nothing except go out there and be aggressive, be who you are. And you have to wonder, what if Mike Conley had that, that early on? What if Mike Conley had that sort of encouragement and that sort of long leash early? He's not as athletic as Ja, but I think the fact that they've just been so encouraging to Ja to let him be who he is, that's really exciting. It's also maybe the reason why he's out right now, because he attacked Miles Turner at the rim at Indiana and ended up tickled up with a cameraman and messing up his back. So I guess it's a little bit of a two-edged sword, but what we've seen from Ja is first and foremost credit to Ja, but second it's a credit to Taylor and the rapport that they've developed, that that he's kind of let him go and do his thing. I don't sense anything except for respect towards the coaching staff from John Morant.
I think one of the reasons we're thinking that, too, and you're talking about the carte blanche that he's got and that Mike Conley might not have gotten. Well, there were other really good players that were being developed when Mike Conley was here and on teams that ended up being pretty good. And so he wasn't going to be the focal point where Ja is now. And part of that, in my mind, is because Jaren Jackson Jr. is not living up to the billing that we gave him most of last year and all of this summer. And so my question for you is, what's wrong with him?
Yeah, the foul trouble is, I think, one of the key culprits. And then just a general lack of chemistry and lack of comfort with both who he's playing with and what he's expected to do when he's on the court. He doesn't look comfortable, and then he gets fouls, and that just makes the problems worse.
But then he has good moments, too.
Yeah, he does. His three-point shot it wasn't great last night, but, it's coming along. It's almost like he's become more of a shooter first type of player. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but
kind of Karl Anthony Towns syndrome.
Well, that was terrible.
Last night you were like, my gosh, Towns, you have Bruno Caboclo guarding you. You're one of the best post players in the NBA. I guess he just didn't understand what he could have done to Bruno in the post. But
he won't go down there.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I don't know. I don't know. Jaren's the piece to this puzzle that you don't feel great about if you're a Grizzlies fan right now. Not because the flash hasn't been there; they have. It's just the consistency. It's just the woeful inconsistency is probably the thing that I would say is a problem, and it's a result of, like I said, foul trouble and just a lack of comfort with his teammates in the system. I think last season he was somewhat able to just slide in with Mike and Mark, and the structure was kind of there, and he could just sort of be efficient within that. And now it's a totally new framework. The hierarchy is not as well defined. Who the go-to guy is, especially now that Ja's out. There's just, I don't know. It's just not I don't think it's as clearly defined, and I think he's having trouble finding his role in that. And that's a big part of how this coaching staff can ultimately judge too. That's why I say it's too early to make a judgment, because if John Moran ends up as Rookie of the Year, well, that's great. But if Jaren Jackson Jr. takes a step backwards, then I don't think you can say that the coaching staff did a good job. Yeah, I mean, obviously John's great, but this is a two-part equation with these guys. And if you leave this season feeling like Brandon Clark's a better player than Jaren Jackson Jr., I don't think that's necessarily a positive outcome.
No, and there's another guy that wasn't there last night as well. He was missing, and yet they still won the game. I'm just curious, if we were in Minneapolis or if we were there right now, what do you think they're saying about Karl Anthony Towns on sports radio in that market?
Are they using
that guy went he was 0 for 7 or 0 for 8. And he kept taking – there's one point in the game last night where Pete Pranica, who's about as objective and fair as anybody we've ever heard, was going, I don't know what he could possibly be thinking when he missed his 7th in a row. I mean, he was a big part of the reason the Grizzlies won.
Yeah, but they better be careful about what they say about Towns up there in the media. I don't care who it is, because a guy of his caliber in the modern NBA, all
be out of there.
Is one little thing to push him over the edge. He's good enough to. He's probably good enough to pull the same kind of stunt that Anthony Davis did.
He's not as good as Anthony Davis, though.
He's not.
And
there's a lot of star players that would love to play with him, though.
Maybe so.
He'd be a big piece of a puzzle.
He could be, but every time when the spotlight's on him, like he was last night, he was soft.
Here's what I want first out of my big man. I want him to be big down in the blocks. And the first big man in my life that just didn't like it. He was a big man kind of trapped in a point guard's body. Davey used to drive me crazy when Ralph Sampson would want to play out on the perimeter. You're 7'4", you've got talent equal to or not far from Hakeem Olajuwon. Get down on those blocks. And Karl Anthony Towns doesn't want to do it, and it scares me when I see Jaren kind of not wanting to do it, David.
To a certain extent, though, it's what they want that system to be. And if you think about it, I mean, last night Jonas was out, and they were incredibly, incredibly small last night. Some of the lineups they had out there were there's probably some high school teams in this city who field lineups with the same amount of height as what the Grizzlies threw out there at certain times. I mean, you're talking like a 6'8", generously listed.
The Tigers are much bigger.
Yeah. Anyway, my point in saying all that is they hit like 16 out of 43s last night, and the offense ran pretty easily with this hodgepodge group of people out there. So, I mean, maybe in some small way that was a little bit more of an actual picture of what Taylor Jenkins wants his offense to look like. Because for all the talk about pace and space that we've heard, they have lagged behind in terms of three-point attempts per game versus all of the other 29 teams in the NBA. Last night they attempted, I think, more, maybe not the most of any game, but pretty close to it. And maybe that's actually what they want it to look like. Well, maybe that's the vision.
The 16 made's got to be the high for the year. It's got to be amongst the high for the franchise. 16 made threes. You know, to me, I'm fascinated about how good Ja can be, because this guy. I'm much more convinced than I ever was last year about about Jaren. This guy shows me, one, he's got moxie, courage. He's got a lot of courage, and two, he's got skills that are beyond anything I really thought that he would possess. And he's only going to get better and better. He's got to get a little bit bigger. And it struck me several years ago when Sean Tuohy was the analyst on television. He used to explain how guys, and a good example, I hate to say it, was probably Burks, that Burks could go in and he had the courage and the quickness to get into the hole, but every time he would come down, he would fall.
He'd get splattered.
And Sean always would say, when you are really strong, you come, no matter what contact you
stay off that floor.
You have, when you come down, you are in balance and you don't fall. When you're not strong, you fall.
And Sean always praised Kyle Lowry of not going to the floor.
That's correct. I do remember that. And that, to me, is what's missing in John. Now, I don't want him to get too big because I don't want that quickness to go away. But he obviously is going to have to get stronger, because if he doesn't, he's going to get hurt. And we've seen now the first sign of that.
Yeah, and he will. I mean, he has. I mean, it's just a natural byproduct of being in an NBA strength program. I mean, he's going to get. I mean, with all due respect to Murray State, which is one of the best, mid-major programs around at this point, and has been for a while. I mean, the strength and conditioning, both facilities and programming, there is of no comparison to what they have in the NBA. So it's going to be a natural byproduct of where he is now. He's going to get stronger, and he's got to. And I don't think people should be worried about, what's going to happen to his shot. Well, look, his shot is not a thing of beauty anyway. Like his percentage is pretty good, but his mechanics aren't great. So, like, no, his shot's not going to get messed up if his upper body gets stronger. I mean, really, the only thing that can happen from his lower body getting stronger is that he'll become a better defender, and he'll avoid some of these terrible falls. So I'm not worried about John Morant getting stronger somehow weakening his game. And I think part of the reason he's not stronger right now, or that he didn't bulk up a decent amount after the NCAA tournament, is because he had that minor knee operation. And so that prevented or limited what he could do, strength and conditioning wise, leading into the draft. And the Grizzlies, have been handling him with gloves since then. And so this offseason, I mean, granted, we thought this about Jaren, and he doesn't really look all that different. But with Ja, I would expect for him to add, 10 pounds of muscle this offseason.
And David, just like the rookie photos, the rookie pictures of Mike Conley didn't look anything like the Mike Conley on his last night. I mean, Mike Conley, it was 19 and looked like a little boy, and then he blossomed into a full-grown man, and Ja will too. Yeah, he will, and I don't think he's not the kind that I'm worried about the bulking up hampering his game. I think it'll only help his game, defensively especially, because I mean that's where he's been a rookie is on defense. I mean he's struggled at times in that regard, and then like you guys are talking about with the falling and stuff. And heck, I mean maybe he'll get some sort of a rule change enacted to get the cameraman moved back. So maybe his legacy will extend beyond the court in that way.
I would say this. The cameramen that are not a part of the game broadcast, I will bet will be moved back. They need to be. But that cameraman that is a part of the broadcast, he's staying there with what they're paying. Are you kidding me? That contract, he ain't moving.
Fans need to be careful about what they wish for too, because if that guy, the one guy you're talking about, gets moved from the broadcast, the vantage point won't be as good. But yeah, I mean, I got to be careful. We've got a spot on the baseline at FedEx Forum, so like I got to be careful. But obviously, as we saw the other night, there are some legitimate worries there.
Yeah, and it's honestly, it's right by the standard. That's where you have to worry. If you're on a wing, if you're by the corner,
of course, that's the spot that Dennis Rodman kicked the cameraman.
I do remember that, yeah.
Well, not that spot, but that area of the court in that spot. David, I got lost in that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, please. It's a family show.
I'm
glad you feel better.
We are, David.
And you are really going on a marathon because you don't get to fly with the team and the charters. You got to get up early, get to the airport. Wow. And you got a lot of traveling to do. I hope you feel better.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thank you, David.
Bye.
That is the Grizzlies beat writer for the Commercial Appeal, David Cobb, about to go, where do you say, Chicago, and then the hard one, right? He goes
Indiana tonight, and then Chicago, and then...
Well, Indiana's at home. Yeah, but he's got to go to Chicago, and then he's going out west.
To Utah.
To Utah, then...
Golden State,
and then Phoenix. Ooh, that's brutal. Because that's, like I say, that's not going to Wilson Air.
A lot of losses in there.
And just walking up and giving your thing, and 10% of you get checked. No, this is get to the airport 2 hours early. Yeah. Return your rental car.
TSA.
Ooh.
Are you TSA pre-check, or you never go through the airports either, though, do you?
Well, no.
Come on, Brad. That's for normal people like us. He doesn't do normal stuff.
Wait. You're right. For the travel with the University of Memphis, I don't. But when we go on our trips, I'm not only am I TSA pre-check, I am global entry, buddy. Global entry is critical in this day and age. It really is. This portion of the show is brought to you by Homer. Now, it's not just Homer Skelton Hyundai. You know it's Homer Skelton Genesis of Olive Branch. Genesis of Olive Branch. And I must tell you, I got the bug. I couldn't help myself. I was in there, I'm talking. I got a G car. I got a G90. It's the most incredible car. First of all, this is so wild. When you lock your car door or you hit the thing on, there is a shadow that comes from your rear view, from your side view mirrors that is of the Genesis logo. It's like Batman. Like when the commissioner needed it, he did a little Batman thing in the sky. This is what it's like on the ground.
Commissioner Gordon, Dave.
Commissioner Gordon, thank you. Can you believe that? And the ride, oh my gosh. The technology in these cars, it is special. That's the best way I can put it. Now, I got a sedan. I'm used to riding in an SUV, and I'd forgotten these sedans, especially if you've got a Genesis car. It is the smoothest ride. Like speed bumps, I can hardly tell. I could tell before, hardly tell. It is really something. You've got to go see for yourself. The dealership gets bigger and bigger and bigger. There's going to be an absolute separate entrance to go in that'll be all Genesis. You're going to love what's going on. Of course, it's always so good. Yeah, this Hyundai product and the Genesis is included. So good. You get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty on every car. Please go see the way car business should be done. Just get on Lamar. It's really quick. First exit in Mississippi's Craft Road, and you're there. Homer, Skelton Hyundai, and Genesis of Olive Branch. We take a time out. When we come back to Tampa, we go. Our good friend John Thompson is standing by. We talk college football next. This is Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
Get happy with Johnny Radio's Happy Hour. Weekday afternoons from 1 till 3 on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Farmers Insurance knows that when you're in the car and that song comes on, yes, that's the one, you have no choice but to pull out your imaginary drumsticks and smash those cymbals and stomp on that kick pedal, which unfortunately is the accelerator pedal. And we covered it. Talk to a farmer's agent who knows a thing or two because they've seen a thing or two.
Call Chad Gatlin at 901-235-1176 or get a fast quote at memphisfarmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Is your company going through a merger or downsizing and you feel your job is in jeopardy? Don't delay. Call Pro Resume, the #1 source for professional resumes in the Mid-South. Go to proresume.biz or call 685-1950, the fastest way to a new job.
Looking for a great place to deposit your money? Try First Bank. Competitive CD rates, a money market that moves with Wall Street prime and interest-bearing checking account options. Not to mention their friendly bankers who make decisions locally. To find out more, stop by one of First Bank's 3 local branches. 6482 Poplar Avenue, just east of International Paper. 8398 Highway 64 across from Wolf Chase. And 6280 Highway 64 in Oakland. Or visit firstbankonline.com. Member FDIC.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Can't you give me 5 more minutes? Country music star Scotty McCreery will be at this year's AutoZone Liberty Bowl, and you want to be there too.
This is it. This is now.
The American Idol winner will perform at the President's Gala on December 30th at the Peabody and at halftime of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game on December 31st. Get your tickets today by calling 795-7700. The Tennessee Highway Safety Office reminds you that fans don't let fans drive drunk.
Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Sports 56 and 87.7 FM. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Every time I come around your city, bling, bling. Think it rain word about bitty, bling, bling. Every time I buy a new ride, bling, bling. Lorenzo's on your counter, bling, bling.
Back in the Family Leisure Studios. It's been a while, I think, since I've gotten to speak with our coach, my man, down in Atlanta, Georgia, the one and only.
He watched all that
John
football.
Thompson. John.
A lot of football.
Good to talk to you, man. I've been missing you, Dave.
How was your
Brett
Thanksgiving?
is having to handle it all.
Carried it right across the goal line, though, didn't we, John?
Job.
We carried it right into the goal line.
We hadn't seen you or talked to you in a few weeks.
You know what I did, and you know the Hanner brothers in Forest City loved him. I was Bart Starr on the goal line sneak those weeks, wasn't I? I pushed it right on across the goal line at Lambeau, didn't I?
John, he's delusional today. I don't know what it is.
I'm okay. I lost you there for a minute. I'm back on.
Well,
I was Bart Starr pushing across the goal line at the Ice Bowl, wasn't I?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, he's Jerry Kramer and you're Bart Starr. That's how that works.
That's it.
I thought I was Paul
So
Harding.
how's everything? Man, what a great weekend in Memphis.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm telling you.
Won a championship, John. That's worth a lot.
I got a chance to really watch the ball game. They're a good football team. When your offense is not hitting on all cylinders and the defense stepped up like they did,
yeah,
and have some injuries and still do it, what a historical weekend for the Tigers. Really happy.
And
that's a good football team now.
And a big chance, honestly, to go to the Cotton Bowl if you can beat them again. Have you ever been in an instance where you played a team back-to-back like that?
No, I haven't. I thought about that. I assumed that question would come up. I don't think I have. We did in the high school playoffs back in the 70s, but I don't think that Arkadelphia versus Malvern 2 times in a row is not like Cincy and Memphis. But I think Memphis has got their hands full. That's going to be a tough situation for them. But man, with the defense playing so much better, it concerns me that Carter is hurt.
Yeah, he's out.
I think that's a big situation for Memphis. They'll challenge that. They'll come back, and both teams. It would be fun to coach in a game like that because of the matchups. Because that's what in my opinion, being a coach, and especially at that level and the NFL level, you're looking for mismatches. And and a good coach tries to avoid those mismatches, and a good coach also tries to find those mismatches
and attack them.
So it would really be fun this week to game plan, coming right back the same week. Who played well? Where's this guy's strength? Where's his weakness? That'd be a lot of fun to be in the coaches' meetings, players' meetings. I mean, you're watching the same guy you had to line up against, and if he whipped you on certain plays and certain situations, that would be to me that'd be really, really exciting.
If you were Luke Fickell, okay, and you had your quarterback back, because remember, Memphis was playing a kid making his first start, this redshirt freshman, Ben Bryant. He'd thrown all of 12 passes and completed 6 before this game against the University of Memphis. And I thought he was really good. And Cincinnati's offense hadn't been very good the last couple of weeks. They were very fortunate to win the last 2 games they did against Temple and USF. And they had to have breaks go their way, incredibly go their way, in order for Cincinnati to pull that out. Would you go back to the other quarterback if he's healthy, or would you stay with this kid and ride him? Because you did, you gained yardage through the air against Memphis.
Yeah, that's a tough situation right there. I don't know. That's why they pay the guy millions of dollars to make that decision. I mean, you got to, it's just being in the huddle, being on the sideline, being with those guys, and really understanding, all right, I mean, that's the biggest cliche in football, but who gives us the best chance to win and who the team responds around. I mean, that's such a big deal, but that is I mean, there may not be a more important decision that is made by the 2 coaches. I mean, heck, Mike made a great decision in pulling out that play, the reverse throwback. I mean, what a perfect timing to do it, and it really took a lot of courage to do that, and I think that's why Mike is He's being talked about in a lot of places
Oh, yeah.
today.
Yeah,
But,
and different tax
but
brackets,
that's
too.
going to be a tough decision for Fickle.
It's going to be real tough. And don't you think it's critical? You mentioned those high school games between Malvern and Arkadelphia, and in rematches in anything in sport, football, rare, basketball and baseball, more likely to have a lot of real quick turnover rematches. Isn't it important to change signals, snap counts, tendencies just from a week from the next week?
I think you'd have to throw some tricks in there. Absolutely, because offensive and defensive linemen pick those up during the games. They get calls. They come to the sideline. You talk about them, and they get those calls. On the sidelines, you're trying to pick signals all the time, and I think there's got to be some deception that is in there. Different signal callers and change up your signal. If it meant one high last week, it's got to mean two high this week, and throw them off early. You got to do that, because if you go back in there and if they're calling cowboy on the offensive line, and that means somebody's pulling and down blocking, and they call cowboy again, it's coming, then you play it differently. I don't think there's any question about it. I mean, I can remember times when people had our signals and they're calling them during the game. I mean, it's so frustrating as a coach, but because that's on you as the coach that they're getting those. You got to change those.
In the famous Bama 2011 rematch with LSU in the BCS National Championship game at the Superdome, the Tuscaloosa practices, they had every LSU tendency, snap count, call, everything, and they didn't change a thing. That's why they never passed the 50. They never changed a thing. I mean, pre-snap, they were going, he's running it to the right. I mean, they knew everything they were going to do.
Well, we could one of these days we could get into a conversation and talk about people back in the old days. You used to watch practice a lot more. I really don't think it goes on now. Maybe it does. I might be naive, but I will say this: that we played in the Bluebonnet Bowl, and this was in 1982. I guess the Bluebonnet Bowl.
Florida.
Arkansas played Florida, and we practiced in the morning in the old Astrodome, and Florida practiced in the afternoon. One time in the morning, we ran a reverse pass and had Gary Anderson throw the pass. Ran the play one time, and that afternoon, Florida worked on that play defensively quite often, and we had never run it during the season. So I don't know who watched who. I don't know how we knew that they ran that play, and I don't know how they knew or how we knew that they practiced against it. I don't know how that happened, but I can say that those two things are a fact.
I don't think you can change a whole lot. You can change terminology so that you're not giving yourself
away. You can change
flashcards and flashcards,
keys.
But that's all communication.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe you can change too much of what you really do. You are what you are.
Oh, no, come out and run the wishbone. No.
I agree. Yeah, you're not going to come out. No, you're going to run the same things, and you're going to have play actions off different actions, and you're going to give different motions and different formations and run the same play and be deceptive. But you're looking at hey, Memphis is getting ready to try to win 12 football games. That's amazing.
It is amazing.
I mean, and Cincinnati has only lost 2 games. They're going
really
in there thinking that they got to reinvent the wheel for this week. It's they'll go in there and just get better at what they do. But I'll say it again: the intriguing part to me will be the individual matchups. How they're going to get X receiver on Y DB, and then conversely make sure that X wide receiver does not attack Y DB or Q linebacker. I mean, because that's where the game is won and lost. If you can get a matchup on a guy and where you know that you can pass rush him, or you know that you can double move him, or you know that he'll go for an inside move and you can beat him outside as a defender, whatever. That's the key things, and that to me that would be, and that would just be so much fun to come up with a plan for that to play this week.
And that's Mark's forte, baby.
That's it.
That's what he lives for.
Johnny the Iron Bowl, Gus Malzahn, he outfoxed the wily old fox, didn't he?
Well, I was pretty, as a coach and watching that at the game, and then hearing what Saban said after, and I think people have begun to understand now from what happened in that situation that when Saban was saying that it was unfair, people immediately thought that he was talking about Auburn or Gus being unfair, but it was really now where people understand that it was the timing that the officials did not give them enough time to respond. Now, I don't know if they did or not, but I mean, you got to give Auburn credit on that, because if I'm on the opponent's sideline and I got my defense out there, I got my eyes on the punter, whatever Auburn's punter. Let's say he was number 16, I'm looking at 16, and I may also be looking at the snapper too. Now that I'm gonna be looking at 54 and 16, and you see him run on the field, bam, you're getting your defense ready, you're getting your punt return team on the field. Well, you see the guy run out there, and then now they leave the rest of the offense out there. It would throw some confusion on you. I think it was a smart play. I don't know if they ever thought that it could, pull it that much, but maybe at least get a timeout or cause some kind of confusion. But to put the ball game away where they didn't get another chance at it, you got to give Gus, major kudos for that. What a great call. What a great plan for that.
2 out of 3 against Bama in the Iron Bowl. The last 3 years.
I'm sorry?
Yeah. He's won 2 out of 3 the last 3 years in the Iron Bowl. 2 down in 17 and 19 on the Plains.
I think and some of that's got to be wearing on Coach Saban. I really do. I mean, this has been a hard year for Alabama to lose Tua the way he did. I think that took its toll on him. They lost a lot of guys early, and losing Dylan Moses early in the year really hurt that defense. They had some injuries. This has been a tough year on Nick Saban. I think in that whole program, in with such the expectations that they're under, they're unrealistic. But they've created that. When I say unrealistic, I mean you just can't keep doing it. But especially with the injuries that they've had. But I think this has been a hard wear on Sir Nick and the boys over there in Tuscaloosa.
All right, I got a hard one for you. Tough question. We now know in this area, because it could affect coaches here, there's 4 vacancies with which to take a look at. That would be Ole Miss, since Matt Luke was dismissed yesterday. Chad Morris, who was dismissed a while ago. Arkansas is open. Barry Odom, the former Tiger defensive coordinator, who went back to his alma mater. Shocked me that they let him go after a 500-year, considering all the stuff that they've overcome. But they did, so that's open. And then Florida State is open, and there's obviously a lot of concern about that job, because that could be a job that Mike Norvell would leave for, because you can win a national title there. Tell me who you think are the best fits for all 4 of those jobs.
Oh, my goodness. I tell you what, it's going to be a domino effect. I really do. And that is really, I can't answer that. There's no way I can answer that. But I think you got to look at once Florida State gets filled, and something may happen. I mean, there's many things going on. I get calls and texts on my phone, about what's going on at Arkansas. It looks like Kiffin is really hot there. And then you hear that he's not. Fuente was in, and then he turns it down, and the different things that happen there. And I think Missouri threw a wrench in it into the Arkansas plans, but because I think you had FSU, and then maybe the next one would have been Arkansas. But now with Ole Miss doing what they did with Matt, that's 2 programs that people are going to really have to want to go to both of those. And it's not going to be over, obviously. I mean, but that's, when you got you got 3 programs in the SEC, Arkansas is definitely, in my opinion, is is in the most trouble right now. I mean, with their fan base, and they got to get somebody in there with some passion. They got to get somebody in there that can, light a fire under those fans, because there's so much apathy there. And I know that was the word that was mentioned at Ole Miss and Missouri, but Missouri's got good footing. I think they've got some good footing, and I think Ole Miss does too. I just hope that they can get good guys. But, I think you guys know that one of the big kingpins in this is Mike Norvell. Mm-hmm. I mean, he is so hot, and if Mike wins or loses, but especially if he wins on Saturday, he may get to pick. And obviously, of all of those, the chance, you said it, Dave, where you got a chance to go win and win big and recruit the easiest would be Florida State. So I'm not saying that's what's going to happen with Mike or anything like that, but you're going to pick the job that has the most recruits and has the least makeover. And obviously, it looks, in my opinion, that would be Florida State.
What do you think happened with Justin Fuente in Arkansas?
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, he's got a great situation right there. I do think that Arkansas at least talked to him seriously, and I do think that he looks at it. I mean, if you're at and you have a few years left on your contract, and you're at Virginia Tech, and you've built that over the last 3 years, or sustained that, for the last few years, I'm not sure you want to go to the SEC West.
Start over.
We can go back and with the Saban effect on the SEC West with Arkansas and Ole Miss, and that Arkansas right now. I mean, and I don't mean it. I mean, I want that place to win and be better more than. I mean, that's really, if I had to say it, that's my school. But that's the toughest place in the conference to win right now.
Well,
I mean,
I would say this too. If Justin, I mean, if there's a time to get Justin, it would be now. I mean, he loses again, first time in 15 years that they lose to Virginia. They lose the chance to go to the championship game. He was in big trouble earlier in the year, seemed to get himself out of it.
He did a great job.
He is not going to have
September on.
He's not going to have Jim Foster back next year.
Bud
now,
Foster.
maybe Bud Foster,
but bring in Barry Odom.
But that could end up being a positive for him, because that was something that was handed to him,
kind of a forced arrangement.
Yeah.
But it looked like Barry Odom would be perfect to get back with Justin Fuente.
Well, they may go as a package deal somewhere. Maybe they go to Ole Miss or Arkansas as a package deal. That would be a good deal. But I just I don't think that. I mean, his seat was hot. I don't know how hot it is now. And losing to Virginia. Look, Virginia is a really good team this year. And,
they're good.
Virginia Tech was average at best.
I agree. Last thing, John, real quick. Joe Moorhead. We haven't given him any due diligence today. Neither Brett nor I have earlier either.
I gave him credit for their plan.
Yeah, you did. But he made it clear he is not leaving. I mean, there's a lot of rumors.
Wow.
Once, especially
Schiano, when
Schiano left.
Yeah. When you call yourself a Yankee and you're in Starkville, Mississippi,
well,
that's
and that's going on. That's literally going on the Jumbotron while we're doing post game. Of course, our angle, man. It was crazy happening all around us.
Yeah,
I mean,
no question.
I'm going. Everybody catching all this. I mean, we got about 5 stories at play here.
Well, that was nuts. That was absolutely nuts.
Well,
but
he basically said it's my program.
I think Moorhead put himself out there, and maybe he had to. I respect him saying that. I'm the
all
guy.
In.
Come at me. Let's go do it. I'm putting my toe to the line. Let's go do it instead of just sit back. I kind of like that. I like what he said, but now there's going to be a lot of people that hold him to it. They'll hold his feet to the fire, and so be it. That's the way it is now. But I respect him for saying that, and it was a terrible way to win a game and a terrible way to lose a game. But that's what it is, and it cost a lot of people. It cost some people's jobs. So it was a terrible deal.
Thank you, John. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you,
Had
John.
a great one.
Happy holidays.
And when we talk next week, we'll have a playoff.
Happy holidays to you guys. Glad to have you back, Dave.
Thank you.
Hey, how are we on our bowl predictions that you threw from? I guess will Mississippi State be going to a bowl now?
Yes, they will. Very,
okay.
very.
So I'm gonna
could
have
very
two.
well
I
be
think
coming here to
Mississippi
Memphis.
State's been the only one. I missed that one. I'm surprised that you didn't throw that at me. So
we'll go over them.
You'll have plenty of time to come back with that one.
Absolutely, we will.
Thank you, John.
Take care, guys.
All right.
Thank you for having me on.
You got it, man.
It's our man, John Thompson, down in Atlanta. He's brought to you in part by Conway. Conway Services, heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. When was the last time you had your heating system tuned up? Did you know your heating system can lose about 5% efficiency every year if it skips a tune-up? Why compromise your family's comfort? Good news. It's heating system tune-up time at Conway. You can schedule your heating system tune-up for just $57, and not only do you save big, but they'll also include a Google Home Mini, absolutely free, while supplies last. That's right. You get the Conway 16-point Energy Saver Super Tune-Up on your heating system, $57, and they're going to give you a Google Home Mini for free. Come on, how can you pass that up? And who else would you trust to make sure your home is safe and comfortable? You got to stay warm. You got to stay connected with a Google Home Mini absolutely free by calling 384-3511, 384-3511. Conway Services, heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. We want to give away a 6-pack of Germantown Commissary.
We do. Our Collierville Commissary, and we will take your calls at 360-8255 at the First Bank phone line, 360-8255. This Saturday, the Tigers and the Bearcats will meet again, back-to-back weeks. How many times has that happened that in the season finale and then the next week at the conference championship that it's happened in back-to-back weeks?
Just to clarify, are we including Memphis and Cincinnati in that total?
We are.
Okay.
So this will be how many? What number? Dave gave it away. Drew said on the post-game show. We gave it away earlier today, 360-8255. How many times back-to-back weeks? Season finale, conference championship game, the next week has it occurred?
If you know, call. You could win a 6-pack of Germantown Commissary. Back in a minute with your phone calls. This is Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
Sports 56 now has 2 FM homes. You can now find real sports talk on 96.1 as well as 87.7 on your FM dial.
Mom, ready to go to JCPenney?
Yep, I need clothes for my OOTD post.
Outfit of the day. Are you taking a selfie?
It's me and your dad, so it's an Ussie.
Get deals for days at our Cyber Days sale. Shop in-store or online for 25% off select Nike activewear and shoes. And multi-piece bedding sets for up to 60% off. Or save an extra 25% any way you pay with coupon. Find it in the app wallet. JCPenney. Coupon and offers valid 12/1 to 12/4. Nike excluded from coupon. Exclusions apply. See jcp.com for coupon and details.
I'm here with the great Pat Donahue from the Rendezvous Restaurant Shipping Department.
Thanks, Brett. We've been shipping our ribs all over the country now for decades from our USDA-inspected shipping kitchen in the Pinch District. We hand-cook our ribs in pits that Mr. Charlie built over charcoal, just like they do at the restaurant.
So what comes in a rib box?
We could do pork shoulder, we could do ribs, our sauce, seasoning, baked beans, coleslaw. We'll even throw in Pancho's cheese dip with our nacho boxes. We also put a bag of Rendezvous seasoned popcorn, heating instructions, some chef hats, some wet naps, and some other helpful tips from our kitchen. We ship our ribs overnight, exclusively FedEx. And we put them in nice packaging. We don't ever want to use styrofoam, so we use corrugated cardboard, actually 2 boxes that fit nice together, so the ribs get to you, your loved ones, or your clients in a safe, wholesome manner. Rendezvous ribs are perfect for out-of-town clients, customers, loved ones. We also ship ribs for any occasion.
Where do we order these great ribs?
You can go to www.hogsfly.com or give us a call at 1-888-464-7359.
Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous Restaurant in the alley since 1948.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry: Honda mowers, trimmers, and generators, Steel blowers, trimmers, and chainsaws, Echo trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws, plus quality products from Red Mat and Shindawa. And they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
You've heard of James Gaddis Jewelers, but have you heard what they've done lately? Everything, a tremendous selection of diamonds and jewels and gold and silver and more. Lots of watches, tons of custom-made jewelry, diamonds, fine gemstones, bracelets, necklaces, so many choices. Romantics will love the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. James Gaddis has experts in wedding and engagement rings, plus 2 repair experts for fine watches and jewelry. Layaway and financing available. James Gaddis, local and family-owned. Whatever your dream, make it come true at James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar.
It may not be stomach issues.
For me, it's intense gas, or pain, or diarrhea, sometimes all at once, over and over.
I spent years with the symptoms, but could never figure it out.
No matter what I did, they never went away. So I decided to break it down for my doctor and get really specific about my symptoms.
We discovered that exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, may be the reason for my stomach issues.
EPI is caused by my pancreas. It leads to diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools. The symptoms just don't go away.
But EPI can show up with even one symptom.
The good news? EPI is manageable.
But to get to the right diagnosis, you have to break it down for your doctor and get specific about the severity of your symptoms.
Visit identifyepi.com to learn more and use the symptom checker to help change the conversation with your doctor. Brought to you by AbbVie.
Need physical therapy but don't know where to go? Tried physical therapy but had a bad experience? Grab your physician's referral and head to Revolution Physical Therapy at the corner of Goodman and Getwell. At Revolution PT, you'll get one-on-one, hands-on therapy. Better and more thorough than just going to the gym. Revolution is locally owned and staffed by neighbors who care about your maximum recovery. And they accept all major insurances. Certified in dry needling, expert in myofascial release. Always relaxed and friendly. Revolution Physical Therapy is just what you need.
Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Welcome back in as we
barbecue time.
Get this thing nailed. Ed will be first, then Larry, 360-8255. Question is simple. Memphis and Cincinnati will be playing in a rematch. It's the final game of the year, followed by a conference championship game. How many times, including this one, has that occurred? Ed, you've got first shot at it.
I'm going to say 4 times.
And
Bingo,
you would be
Ed.
a winner.
Man, you,
wow.
You parked it way over Waveland Ave.
Now, for extra credit, even though you get nothing because you still got it, how many times has the team that won the first game, won them both?
Well, not counting Memphis, Cincinnati, I think it's 2 times they've won it and 1 time they lost.
No, one time they've won both. The other times they split.
You win. You still win, Ed.
Yeah, you still win.
Like I needed after last weekend, but yeah, I'm glad. Thank you.
You got it. I'm going to put you on hold. You'll listen to Drew. He'll get all the info. You are a winner of a Germantown commissary or Collierville commissary, either one you want to go to, a 6-pack of the greatest Q. You know by now how good it is. Ribs, deviled eggs, desserts, you name it. And the new one in Collierville is special. Go check that one out. There's a drive-through. Germantown commissary, Collierville commissary, great for your bird for Christmas or ham as well.
Time for our Ghoul Style segment, brought to you every Monday at this time by Ghouls. Follow them on Twitter at Ghoul Salons or their website, ghoulsalons.com. It's the perfect gift for this time of year. Have one handy, whether it's an office party or for a loved one or for a friend, a customer's been so good to you. It's the gift card, the gift that you cannot go wrong with for anniversaries, birthdays, weddings, holidays. Make someone feel so special with that Ghouls gift card. All the great locations, one never as far away from downtown to out east in Park Place where the Ghouls Academy is located, part of the Renaissance of the Square. One now in Olive Branch as well. Massage, body treatments, facials, or just a haircut. Haircut started in 1932, 87 years of exemplary service. Powerhouse was born. Mr. Sam Gould opened a barbershop, and now this great business they have today with 450 Ghouls employees to serve your every need. Upscale ambiance and superior customer service. The gift card is the gift you cannot go wrong with at this time of year for anniversaries, birthdays, weddings, and now these holidays. Make someone feel very special with that Ghouls gift card. Follow them on Twitter at Ghoul Salons or their website, ghoulsalons.com. It's simple for me. Style for me is Mike Norvell. Look how front and center he is in all the news, primarily with his great football team, champions of the West 11-1 and hosting the AAC championship game. We thought after Justin Fuente, can it get better? It's gotten
Definitely got better, no doubt.
exponentially better.
No doubt about it. My style is to the Houston Rockets and the LA Clippers. Twice, both teams have now scored 150 points in a game.
Somebody's
Twice.
gonna get 2 bills on
Guess what? They did it both. Both teams have done it against Washington and Atlanta.
Somebody gets 200 this year, don't they? In the NBA game.
I don't know. 200's too many, but they may get to 170. We take a timeout. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about college football because Barrett Jones is next on Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. There's a new commissary in town in Collierville. Germantown Commissary is doubling. Yeah, they're still going to have the old Germantown Commissary by the tracks, but now there's a huge new Germantown Commissary in Collierville at Poplar and Houston Levee Road. It's huge, too. There's a drive-through. There's plenty of parking. No telephone pole to get in your way. A cool patio. It's right by the track, so the tradition continues. And this is a tradition that's been around forever. That commissary is famous for hickory-smoked, slow-cooked Memphis-style barbecue. They've got a private party room at the new one in Collierville. Self-catering still continues. Party packs for $5.95. Basically, the great ribs, the great pulled shoulder, the great deviled eggs. Everything is there in Collierville and Germantown now. So there is now a Germantown and Collierville style of barbecue. It's called Germantown Commissary.
It's game on at the new Moneyline Book Bar and Grill inside the Gold Strike Casino Resort. Now you can bet on all of your favorite sports and watch the games on 60 HD TVs while you lounge in plush seating and enjoy craft beers, signature cocktails, and great food. Plus, don't miss the Topgolf Swing Suite, a virtual reality experience with a variety of fun interactive games every sports fan will love. Visit the Moneyline Bar, Book and Grill at Gold Strike Casino Resort for Monday Night Football happy hour specials. Or anytime you want a piece of the best sports action in Mississippi.
It may not be stomach issues.
For me, it's intense gas, or pain, or diarrhea, sometimes all at once, over and over.
I spent years with the symptoms but could never figure it out.
No matter what I did, they never went away. So I decided to break it down for my doctor and get really specific about my symptoms.
We discovered that exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, may be the reason for my stomach issues.
EPI is caused by my pancreas. It leads to diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools. The symptoms just don't go away.
But EPI can show up with even one symptom.
The good news? EPI is manageable.
But to get to the right diagnosis, you have to break it down for your doctor and get specific about the severity of your symptoms.
Visit identifyepi.com to learn more and use the symptom checker to help change the conversation with your doctor. Brought to you by AbbVie.
I want to invite you to come by the Spirit Shop. You know, that little log cabin on Poplar, your liquor and wine oasis. The Spirit Shop has been providing sports fans their beverage needs since way back in 1969. So come in now and get ready for the big game. Whether your favorite team wins or loses, the Spirit Shop will help you celebrate or ease that pain away. The Spirit Shop is open every day, and they're located perfectly at 4848 Poplar. That's the corner of Poplar and St. Nick.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Wolosian and Brett Norsworthy.
Come on, Muhammad, we hit fame. We busy with the deal, we get insane.
Welcome in on this wintry Monday. Wolo and Stats with you. Hour number 3. On Mondays, that means our friend Barrett Jones joins us now. And Barrett,
he was at Death Valley Saturday night.
He was. He saw Mr. Joe Burrow.
Wrap it up.
Probably wrap it up. Now, Barrett, both Brett and I are now Heisman Trophy winners. Heisman Trophy voters.
I've never had the stiff arm trophy, Barrett.
No, we are voters. We cannot tell you our final tally here, but it'd be pretty hard not to vote Burrow in. You've seen a lot of great players this year. Where would you put him?
Well, first of all, congratulations, guys, on your Heisman. I did not know that. That's awesome that you guys both won. That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah,
we won the vote.
I won in '72, right before John Cappelletti, Barrett.
I gotcha. All right, I gotcha. Those are some. It must have been some forgotten years. That's very underpublicized.
Very forgotten years. Yes.
We have two Heisman Trophy winners.
Now, Barrett, I've told you about my high school playing career, haven't I?
Yeah, absolutely. You're a stud.
Two plays, offside on one, 12th man on the field on the other one.
I love it. That's awesome. Well, to answer your question, look, I think Joe Burrow. I said this in the game. I honestly am trying to think of a scenario, where he doesn't win the Heisman, just because of how dominant he's been. And if you had any questions about Joe Burrow, I cannot imagine you watching that game and coming away anything but impressed. I mean, just the word that comes to mind, honestly, is just total command. He's in total command of that offense at all times. Obviously, he has a lot of talent around him, and he knows how to use those guys. It's really poetry in motion, honestly. And I love watching those guys play football this year, because it's just so fun to watch them play offense. And I know that there are a lot of great offenses in the country this year. Between Ohio State and Clemson has a lot of talent, and there's really a lot of good offense being played in college football. But to me, that's the best offense in the country, and I don't think it's that close. They're just so complete with how they run the football, how they throw it, how Joe uses the RPO to his advantage, those receivers they have, the O-line, the way they're protecting. I just think they're really, really good. I mean, people forget, Texas A&M's defense is pretty good. I mean, they allowed 260 yards total in an entire game to Georgia. And I know Georgia's not exactly an offensive juggernaut, but they're the number 4 team in the country. So that's a pretty good defense that they could have scored 100 on. I'm just telling you, being there in the stadium,
sure could.
They could have scored 100 points to those guys the way they were playing.
Barrett, we listened to you and Sean driving back from Auburn Saturday night, and y'all voiced that LSU really ratcheted back some.
Oh, they did. I mean, they were cruising. They were up 28-0 on their first 4 drives. I mean, it was automatic, and it was embarrassing for Jimbo Fisher and those guys. It really was. I mean, they had no chance to stop that defense. I really was shocked. I mean, I knew that. I shouldn't say I knew. I thought it was going to be a one-sided game, but I did not see that coming. Just that it was that dominant performance, and that they looked so helpless on defense. I mean, they just couldn't cover those guys.
I tell you, a good kind of promotional for college football. I'm serious about this. Leading into a potential Clemson-LSU meeting in the college football playoffs, because both rightly claim their stadium as Death Valley. You know how sometimes when, like the Super Bowl, the mayor of Boston will bet the mayor of San Francisco, and it'll be, clam chowder versus whatever the delicacy is in another city, whatever it is. Seriously, kind of WWE promotional style. Serious bet. The winner, next year, we're Death Valley. The other one can't use it in any marketing and PR. Let's bet.
That would be wild. I think, they'd have to clear that with their marketing department. Yeah. They probably already have a lot riding on those things. I think LSU has it at the stadium. I bet Clemson does too. So, written on the wall. Mm-hmm. So, that would be pretty intense. And look, that brings up a good point. I think that in some ways, I think it's not getting enough attention. I think it's so huge to me who gets that 1 seed. I think that's so important, because I would not. Let's just say that everything goes according to chalk. I would not want to play Clemson in the first round if I could avoid it. And I know LSU will say we're scared of no one, like they should. But as a fan, and if I was a coach, man, I would want as much as possible. I don't care who the 4th seed is. I'm telling you, they're not as good as those 3 teams in the country. There's 3 dominant college football teams this year in my mind right now. And I don't care who the 4th one is. I think number 1 will win convincingly against number 4. 2 and 3, I'm not sure who's going to win that game, especially if it's LSU or Ohio State playing Clemson. That's going to be some good football right there.
Is LSU better than Ohio State? You've seen them both.
Well, Ohio State's more complete. There's no doubt in my mind there. I will say I thought LSU quietly had their best defensive performance of the year that night, and it's not surprising. Look, they've got a lot of pieces on defense. People love to say, "Oh, look at the Ole Miss game; they can't play defense." They have good players on that side of the football, and those guys are starting to play better. Everyone's getting a little healthier. Delpit, I thought, looked a lot healthier than he has all season. He's been a little disappointing. So, I think Ohio State is a more complete team. But man, I don't know who's better, to be honest with you, because that LSU offense, I'm just telling you, I would not want to face those guys right now. The way they're playing, and they to me are the best unit in the country in that offense. And when you have a side of the ball like that that's that dominant, that's saying something. So I hope we get to see it on the field. I think that'd be just such a fun national championship game. We'll see if we get it.
In the Iron Bowl on Saturday, Barrett, I thought of you a lot, and I especially thought about you in the center exchange in the shotgun with Mac Jones all day. It was either lollipop or a little left or a little right. It was never back there quick and on time. It threw the timing off. All the false starts. I hate to blame one person in the ultimate team sport, but I thought the center really struggled on Saturday for Alabama, and we know with you and with others before you in Coach Saban year, he inherited Antoine Caldwell, and then he had Vallejos, and he had you, and he's had Ryan Kelly. He's had great center play. They didn't get it Saturday, and I thought that really caused a lot of timing issues for Bama.
Well, I agree. There certainly were some issues back there, and look, I think a lot of that maybe had to do with the fact that who they were playing against. Auburn's defensive line is, in my opinion, maybe the best in the country. We're talking about Derek Brown and Marlon Davidson, and the guys that are lining up across from you all day.
Big cat.
And that gets tiring. That's hard.
Yeah.
I think that certainly had something to do with it. But you're right. I mean, just there were so many inexcusable errors, and even though in a lot of ways, I thought that if you look at the yardage, you look at kind of the way the stats panned out, you could make the argument that maybe Alabama was the better team. I don't think they really deserved to win the game, just based on the way they executed in big situations. And I know everyone will blame the field goal kicker, and they'll blame that, or maybe they'll blame the 2 pick sixes, which we're not good either. But there were just so many little details that Alabama normally does the right way that weren't executed properly, and that's, I'm sure, what Coach Saban will come back to. And it wasn't, a lot of times when things like that happen, it sort of almost feels like a summation of the season. It's a summation of Alabama that they weren't quite themselves this year. They weren't super sharp in a lot of situational football, and that when it was time to make a big play, a lot of times a big mental mistake reared its head, and we saw that.
The two things that struck me the most about Alabama that I've not seen in years, and that's the penalties. 13 of them was the most of any Saban team at Alabama. That's one. And then two, and I know that the offense gave up 14 of those points, but 48 points were surrendered by Alabama. That defense is not what it's been the last 5 years.
0 quarterback sacks, 0 interceptions.
Well, you're right. I mean, both of those penalties that's an obvious indicator, just what I was talking about the execution, and so a lot of them were very silly. And coaches don't really get that mad about holds or blocks in the back, or obviously you want a coach to avoid them, even face masks, those kind of things. What gets you are the false starts and substitutions and those kind of things that are just so avoidable. And there was a lot of that going on. So I agree with you. Look, the defensive thing. I'll say this one more time. I said it earlier in the year. I can't imagine a more important player for Alabama to lose. You could make the argument maybe Tua, and now we're seeing that playing out too. But look, the offense wasn't really the problem. I mean, the offense still scored a bunch of points, even though they threw 2 pick sixes, right? So I thought Mac actually did some really nice things in the game. I mean, obviously you never can turn it over like that, but I'm not excusing those errors, but there were a lot of positives. To me, when they lost Dylan Moses in the preseason, I thought that was just enormous because the linebackers out there just look lost. And a lot of times I think that's kind of the center of that defense, the people who really call the plays, who communicate to everyone else. And there's not a guy in the middle of that defense right now, really anywhere in the middle, who really has stepped up and kind of taken that leadership role on. So I think that was, again, just kind of a summation of a lot of things that have happened this year. And that really showed its head in a lot of ways at that second level of the defense, which has been, really every level has been dominated under Nick Saban, but you can make the argument that maybe has been the best level of all is that linebacker position where there's been so many guys who played in the NFL, and maybe these guys will eventually turn out to be that. But on Saturday they had a tough night.
Barrett, how does a locker room? I know the Alabama locker room with so many captains and stable upperclassmen. How would you handle it as a teammate, and how do you think your teams would handle going forward with what Elijah Moore pulled late in the Egg Bowl?
Wow, yeah, that's man, that's crushing right there. And honestly, I just feel bad for the kid. I mean, I really, obviously it's totally self-imposed. It's something he brought totally on himself. But just all the frustration with him. I mean, he's got to feel terrible right now. And I think as a teammate, it most of that stuff usually, again, it's the same kind of deal. It doesn't just happen in one moment. It's a guy who you've known was an issue and a problem that did something like that. And it's sometimes those things have a way of showing up in big situations. Now, look, I don't know him from Adam, and he's probably a great kid. I'm just saying that when people, don't think that the rules apply to everyone, that sometimes you get some things that pop up like that.
We go back to the playoffs for a second. When you look at the two teams trying to fight their way in, Utah and Oklahoma, who can climb up the quicker?
And Baylor.
Well, I guess my question is right. All right, so let's throw that in too. If Oklahoma beats Baylor or Baylor beats Oklahoma convincingly enough, can they pass their way in? Same thing with Utah. Is Utah, if they pound Oregon, which we know is a good football team, can they possibly get into the playoff, especially if the ones at the top go chalk?
Well, I think the eye test is going to be huge. I really do, because I think everyone's just kind of assuming that if Utah wins, they're in. I don't see it that way. I mean, you look at the resumes, it's really not close between Utah and Oklahoma. I mean, Oklahoma, eye test-wise, they haven't looked as good because obviously their defense has been doing typical Oklahoma things this time of the year. Mm-hmm. They've had some good moments, but they've had some really bad moments. But, man, when you look at who Oklahoma has beaten compared to who Utah has beaten, remember this, Utah's only played one ranked team all year, and it was USC, and they lost. Right, so I mean, Utah doesn't have a great resume. I think they need a convincing win over Oregon to really assure people. But everyone's just kind of acting like, oh, Utah is definitely going to be in. I don't see it as a definite. Now, I'm not saying they're not going to be in. I'm just saying that I think it's going to be a beauty contest in a lot of ways between Oklahoma and you're right, bro. You made a great point. If Baylor has a convincing win, now I do think Utah gets in over Baylor because of Baylor's non-conference. But let's just say Utah loses and Baylor wins. I think Baylor's in. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'll get to call the Pac-12 championship, so I'll be right there for a lot of action.
Wow. Do we all agree that if Georgia beats LSU, both those teams are in?
I do agree with that. The seeding to me would be really interesting, by the way, but that's a different story. I think I wonder how exactly they do it and how they'd sort everyone out. And then since Georgia would be a de facto home team, if they played in Atlanta, I wonder if that would affect some picks. It'd be interesting to see the way all that moved.
Barrett, what next Monday's debate and argument is going to be is if LSU is the defeated team in the SEC championship game and they get in over a conference champion, and there are going to be people outraged that the SEC champion Georgia, they should get in. They will get in. But for LSU to get in over a Utah that wins, or either Oklahoma or Baylor that wins, it's going to be quite a dust-up over it.
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, if I feel convicted about one game, I really feel like LSU is going to beat Georgia. I mean, I don't think it'll even be an issue. That's my, I just think it's too much of an offensive sport right now. I know that Georgia's defense is maybe one of the best defenses in the country, but I'm just telling you the way I've seen LSU play offense this year, I think they put up some points in the 85 Bears. I really do. I think they're that good offensively. Now, obviously, I'm being a little hyperbolic there, but I'm just saying that they're a really good offense. So I think you got to be able to score. And, especially now that Cager's out, obviously Pickens now will be out. Talk about another boneheaded play. A lot of people maybe didn't see that, but he got to do a fight in the Georgia Tech game. He'll be out the first half. I mean, they don't have any weapons on the outside to me.
They could be out of the game by the time he gets in.
I know. So look, I struggle to see a path of how Georgia wins this game. Obviously, it'll just be if they really shut down LSU, and maybe they're able to control the clock and run it. Maybe you could make that argument. The first part of that, shutting down LSU, I don't see that happening. So, but all that to say, I definitely agree with you. That deservedly so. Both those teams should be in if they are able to beat LSU. And yes, there'll be a lot of outrage, but. Look, you're not keeping LSU out. I mean, they have 4 top 10 wins. It's not even close. When you look at anyone's schedule compared to them. I mean, that's to me is a no-brainer. I think it'd be a bigger argument whether or not LSU deserves to still be over top of Georgia, right? I mean, would they move, Georgia all the way to 2 over Clemson? That'd be interesting to me how it all sorted out. I would imagine they'd put Georgia over LSU because they just played head-to-head. So, anyway, that there's a lot of ifs that could unwind. I think, really, to me, it's pretty simple, relatively simple. If Georgia does lose to LSU, if Georgia beats LSU, then I think there's a lot of interesting scenarios that start popping their heads up.
Billy Napier getting a lot of talk. He's 10-2 at Louisiana Lafayette. They lost on opening day to Mississippi State. They were very impressed by him. There was even conversation at the Egg Bowl that Joe Moorhead was out and Billy Napier or Billy Clark at UAB would be in at that job. That none of that happened. Billy Napier from his days at Alabama. In the Saban coaching tree, is he at the top of the prospects to maybe be a coaching rock star? How would you describe what you think the Billy Napier future will be in coaching?
Yeah, I love Billy Napier. He's a great coach. I think that's a great name, and I think absolutely he could be the next guy. Everyone wants to hire an offensive coach right now, so I think that's a good name. He's done a tremendous job there. I've called their games over the years with him as the head coach, and they're always really well disciplined teams. So I think it's all really well deserved, and we'll see. We'll see if it's this year or next year or when it all happens. But I think eventually he'll have a big time coaching job. I actually absolutely expect that.
As always, my friend, have safe travels to the West Coast. That should be a good game. It's unfortunate you're going to miss a great one in your hometown, Memphis and Cincinnati.
Are you doing a game on Saturday?
I am. I'm doing the ACC championship on Saturday. So you'll think of me when you're sleeping in your beds Friday night that I'll be on a red eye flying across the country.
You will be. You will be. Barrett, we'll be listening. We appreciate it. And we'll visit next week. Thank you.
Thank you. By the way, I just want to say, so happy for Memphis, man. I think it's just tremendous what's happening. I will be rooting hard for the Tigers on Saturday. That'll be a lot of fun. And my only fear is that Memphis plays Alabama in the Cotton Bowl, and they just absolutely roll over them because none of the Alabama players play. So anyway, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But Memphis is playing some good football right now.
I hope we get to the Cotton Bowl. I don't know that you'll want to see Alabama, that's for sure. But I know whoever. Doesn't matter. Just get to the Cotton Bowl. That's all they care about. Thank you, Barrett. We appreciate it. Safe travels.
Thanks, guys.
Got it. Barrett Jones with us every Monday talking college football. This hour brought to you every day by DeSoto Auto Sales. They specialize in late model cars with low mileage, very high standards at DeSoto Auto Sales. All the cars, test driven, all checked out head to toe, unlimited inventory, every make, every model. If it's not on the lot at DeSoto Auto Sales, they'll go out and find it for you. No shortcuts taken. You walk in, you're treated like family, kind, courteous employees, laid back atmosphere, and they care about your time. They want you to have the ultimate car experience. Walk in the door, within 45 minutes, you test drive your car, credit approved, paperwork done, and you're gone. Go online, check out the referrals at DeSotoAutoSales.com, 5704 Goodman Road, 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto County for that town and country experience at DeSoto Auto Sales on Goodman Road.
We take the break. We will be back momentarily. We got a lot to do. Monday Night Football, Big Four, and other stuff. All you got to do is keep it right here on Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
Take Sports 56 with you on your phone or tablet. Download our official Sports 56 app today.
Hi, I'm Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. If you need a roof for your home or business, we hope to hear from you and we will work hard to earn your business. We are experts and certified in residential and commercial roofing, siding, and gutter installation. We have been serving the Memphis area for over 20 years, and now with 2 of my sons working with me, we plan to be here for many years to come. So if you need a roof, please give us a call. On a personal note, what a great time to be a Memphis sports fan. With the Grizzlies' new look, the Redbirds, the 901 FC, and the Tigers football and basketball teams, it's going to be a fun year. Thank you to Coach Norvell, Coach Hardaway, and their staffs for your dedication to your student athletes, the University of Memphis, and to fans like me who have waited forever to have both the football and basketball teams ranked at the same time. Five-Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Pop the top on your next party. 34 North Cocktails. Available in Memphis now. Great for football grove parties, around the hunting campfire, and when you get home, entertain friends. Pop a premium can of Barrel Thief. Tastes just like an old-fashioned Barrel Thief made with aged bourbon, bitters, a hint of orange, a touch of vanilla, 15% ABV. Then, for you vodka lovers, try Sneaky Pucker, a refreshing lemonade premium vodka cocktail, 12.5% ABV, made with super premium vodka, lavender, simple syrup, and lemonade. Delicious and smooth. Let the party begin with 34 North Cocktails.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test-driven, checked out from head to toe, unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales. First Bank is here to help you, whether you're a business looking for a loan to expand or refinance an existing one, a homeowner looking for a mortgage or home equity line, a consumer wanting to finance your dream car, or wanting a competitive rate on your CD deposits. Let First Bank try to handle your banking needs. Stop into one of First Bank's 3 local branches today. 6482 Poplar Avenue, just east of International Paper, 8398 Highway 64 across from Wolf Chase, and 6280 Highway 64 in Oakland. Or check them out online at firstbankonline.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey everybody, this is Coach Penny Hardaway. There's a comfort in being home, and to me, comfort food and family makes Memphis the place to be, along with having the best basketball fans in America. I like pulling into Corky's and getting one of their family party packs. How can you go wrong with pork, beans, slaw, sauce, and buns for only $5.99 a person? It is so easy. I can call ahead, order online, or just pop in. Tailgating can't get any easier. Tell them Penny sent you.
Encore flavor, Corky's barbecue. Can't you give me 5 more minutes?
Country music star Scotty McCreery will be at this year's AutoZone Liberty Bowl, and you want to be there too.
This is it. This is now.
The American Idol winner will perform at the President's Gala on December 30th at the Peabody and at halftime of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game on December 31st. Get your tickets today by calling 795-7700. The Tennessee Highway Safety Office reminds you that fans don't let fans drive drunk.
Welcome back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Wolosian and Brad Norsworthy.
Welcome back in. This portion of the show brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai in Olive Branch, and of course, Genesis of Olive Branch. Genesis, what a car. I got the fever. I got me a G90.
You needed that seat warmer this morning, didn't you?
I did. And you know what else it's got?
You're going to need it at 6 o'clock.
It's got a steering wheel warmer.
It's how Dave rolls, Drew.
Steering wheel warmer.
It's how Dave rolls.
I told you about the side mirrors that have the shadow come down like it's Batman from the sky. It's unbelievable. And the ride is incredible. And I just think if you're looking for a luxury car, you can't get better than this. All the technology's in that makes it so safe.
When are we road tripping in it, Drew?
Well, you guys really should clamor for that to occur. You should go.
Can I drive?
I'll let you drive a little bit. You know, they got the things in front of you where you see the speed limit and it tells you your speed.
We're breaking the speed.
And if you get too close, a little red flashing light comes on. It says obstacle in front of you. I mean, it's big time stuff. It really is. And of course, it gets the same sort of warranty, guarantee pretty much, that you get with any Hyundai product. That is 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Go see what I'm talking about. See the way car business should be done. The best marriage of service and of technology. That's what you get with Homer Skelton Hyundai in Olive Branch and Olive Branch Genesis.
I say great Monday night football matchup tonight. Do y'all say great, good, what?
I say good. I wouldn't call it great.
Either of these teams, can they be thinking about holding the Lombardi Trophy first Sunday in February?
Yes.
And it's Seattle. 0-7 all time for Kirk Cousins on Monday Night Football.
Oh, you took away what I knew today.
As soon as I said it, I knew you liked that nugget from something. I didn't know you had it down. I'm sorry. 0-7.
But that was all with the Washington Redskins.
Very malign. This tonight can change a lot of stories on Kirk Cousins, can it? Could it?
I think it's the only thing that can. He's got to win big games. He hasn't won a big game.
The Vikings offensive coordinator is Ed Stefanski's son, right? Former Grizzlies exec.
I think that's right.
I think that's right. I like this matchup tonight, and
I think it's a really good matchup because I think both teams could go a long way.
And starting next weekend, my favorite time of the year in the NFL because I'm home and can really watch football all day on Sunday, and the next weekend we're going to get into Saturday games. Open dates are over. This is the home stretch for the NFL.
I think Seattle is a team that could really go a long way. I don't like Pete Carroll. I think what he did to USC was disgraceful.
He brought him a lot of titles.
I think he's a bit of a phony. Yeah, he walked away from a sinking ship, and he was the guy that put the hole in the boat.
He's the Dick Clark of football coaches, isn't he? He stayed young, didn't he?
He did, and he's a really good football coach, and he motivates people. And I think this team is good. And look, Russell Wilson is about as good as it gets. I mean, you're talking about the elite quarterbacks, and he's it. I mean, for a little bit there, until until Lamar Jackson went crazy, he was
MVP.
He was the MVP. So I like Seattle in this game tonight, honestly. I think that they will probably end up winning the game, and it's at home, and they're really good at home. But I think Minnesota has a chance to make a statement, and I think that Bears division is maybe the best in all of the NFL.
I had Russell Wilson in my Seattle top 4 the first time they were on Monday Night Football. So my first 4 were Steve Largent, Kenny Easley, Cortez Kennedy, and Russell Wilson. Did y'all have Russell Wilson in your?
Yes.
Yes.
And I had Sherman.
Richard Sherman. I got him this time.
I had
Marshawn Lynch.
Marshawn Lynch.
I have him this time.
And I'm trying to remember who my fourth guy was. But I know that I went the opposite of that. I mean, I went like 5, 6, 7.
You had
8.
Walter Jones in there, didn't you, first go around?
Yes, I did.
Hall of Famer. All right, who wants to go first for Seattle? Kind of big 5 through 8. Go ahead, Drew.
I mean, I'll go first. At 5, I do have Marshawn Lynch. 6, Richard Sherman. 7, I put Matt Hasselbeck in there. I doubt either one of y'all probably has him on there.
No.
I just really liked him. And it's my list. I can do what I want with
your
it.
list.
And number 8, I got Sean Alexander.
I have Sean in there, Dave.
I have Bobby Wagner, who was a great middle linebacker for them. 5-time Pro Bowl kid. Then I had Cam Chancellor because I went with Sherman the last time. I went with Sean Alexander because I had Marshawn Lynch. And I went with Cortez Kennedy, that big nose tackle that was so good in the middle.
From Rivercrest High School in Wilson, Arkansas. I had Walter Jones this time, Marshawn Lynch, that y'all both kind of had last time. I went Richard Sherman this time, Dave. You had him last time. And I went Sean, one of my favorite players and favorite people of all time in sports. MVP, had, I think, over about 8,000 yards. Hall of Famer someday. Is he?
I think you've been an MVP and you got 8,000 yards. You've got to be at the top 2 or 3% of your era.
And there's no backlog of running backs like at the wide receiver position.
Right.
There's not going to be. I mean,
No.
his numbers will look better
won't
and
be.
better as the years roll on.
I agree with that, unless the game changes again, which could happen.
Minnesota Vikings.
All right, I'll go first here. I would put it for the great running back until he just sort of destroyed his rep, Adrian Peterson, who's trying to come back. The great old, and I was torn here because I loved Wrong Way Marshall.
You're going Mick Tingelhoff, aren't you?
No, I thought about Mick Tingelhoff. No, I went Ellen Page.
The judge.
Yep. So he's 3-2. Randy Moss. Randy Moss.
He's talking right now on TV.
I mean, people forget how great he was. He had some troubled times. He went to, 3 colleges? Started at Notre Dame, went to Florida State, and then finished it at Marshall. But he was amazing.
He simulated.
And I think at the end he got his act together. I think as an NFL player he was.
Oh, he did.
He was straight-laced and
got to the Patriots.
Got to it. Yep.
And they don't accept any stuff. And his mock mooning, he didn't really drop trowel in Lambeau that time. Remember Joe Buck's reaction to it that day on the broadcast?
Yes.
Joe Buck went more wild than the guys did Thursday night over Elijah Moore.
Right. No, you're right. He did.
It was a little too much, wasn't it? And I love Joe Buck.
Yeah. My number one, before I get to my number one all-time Minnesota Viking.
You got to go Cosell when you do it, because I think it was the name that made the Cosell imitators really come out.
I'll try. But the guy that's really the face of that franchise forever for me is not the player. It's the coach, Bud Grant. And that crew cut, never no freezing coat. When it was
Wouldn't
2
wear
degrees.
coats.
I know. He was crazy. But I loved Bud Grant. But no, the face of your Minnesota Vikings, the man who could move. He was the first of the mobile quarterbacks, small, but so wiry and so quick.
You're really nailing it.
Couldn't catch Fran Tarkenton.
Sir Francis. I mean,
Sir Francis.
Cosell would always call him that. That's where I start. I start with number 10 from Georgia. And we forget the few years that he was traded to the Giants and they traded him back, but it was mostly we remember him by the Vikings. I have Adrian Peterson 2, Randy Moss 3, and I love him to death, and he was that good. As Chris Berman said, all he did is catch touchdowns. Hall of Famer Chris Carter.
Chris Carter was great. He would certainly make the next one. He would be 5th probably on my list.
Great guy.
Yeah. It's hard to take. Really, it's hard to take Randy Moss over him because they were close.
Vikings have a lot of names.
Oh, yeah.
Page, Marshall.
Oh, yeah.
Paul Krause.
Oh, Paul Krause was great.
Chris Dolman.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of names in Vikings history. I'm forgetting a pretty good tight end. What was the tight end in the 70s?
I don't know.
Stu Voigt. He was pretty good.
That doesn't really ring a big bell with me.
Chuck Foreman.
Chuck Foreman was great. Chuck Foreman was that. That's who I was trying to think
Dave.
of. Chuck Foreman was great.
Ahmad Rashad.
Yeah.
Drew, your list.
My list is pretty much the exact same. Fran Tarkenton at number 1, Randy Moss 2, Adrian Peterson 3, and Chris Carter 4.
There we go. Vikings got a lot of talent.
You know somebody that Steve Earhart would have on this list.
Purple People Eaters.
And he signed him with the Showboats, but I don't think he ever hit the field because that was the year the USFL went out. Didn't Gary Zimmerman, wasn't he with the Vikings? And never really made it to the Boats?
Yeah, I don't think he – 83 fall was supposed to be Boats fall, and it
86,
never was.
86.
Or 86 fall was supposed to be Boats fall. 83 spring was in. Yeah.
The one and only.
And those are your –
Boat Will Ocean.
Those are your Monday Night Football Big Four, or in the case of the Seahawks, the Big 8.
And the Vikings, they're up there like the Blues and like the Raptors in basketball. They would be a popular first-time champion. Now, I think if they got in the Super Bowl, people would be okay with them winning their first one because they've had some Super Bowl heartache.
They have. They really have. Those Bud Grant teams were great. And to think that they played, seriously, it was so cold in that frigid.
At the Met.
What was it? The Met. Metropolitan Stadium.
And Dave, the Mall of America is built on the property.
Right.
And they had an outline of where where home plate, like in the mall, you could go to where home plate kind of was. And boy, it did the cold.
It did. Those are your Big Four. Monday night game should be pretty good tonight. I'm looking forward to listening right here on Sports 56, 87.7, and 96.1. Stats, probably already talked about this. Could you revisit what the plans are for the replacement with Matt Luke, if you know?
I don't think there will be anybody named this week really at many places, particularly if you're wanting one of those coaches that are in a conference championship game. I think this week's going to be a lot of names, a lot of smoke, very little flame. And next week, I think, will be announcement week, press conference week, welcome to town week, and put them in the hat and the jersey and all that good stuff for everybody. And Keith Carter does have a very, very good plan. I thought people were really short selling Keith that didn't think, into the new job in the first days, that if he'd kind of have the stones to make his move, I knew he would if he thought he had to. I don't know if it all came down to Thursday night, but it was big. Look, it's unmistakable. It's irrefutable that 6'6" to 5'7" to 4'8", and the ticket sales, the vast number of empty seats at home games this year. Now, next year's home SEC opponents are great for season ticket sales. They're not very good for W's. Next year coming to Oxford will be Alabama, Auburn, Mississippi State, and Florida. Our good buddy Dan Mullen returns. Yeah. And then you look at the rest of the schedule, open on opening day against Baylor, and Baylor could very well be a top 10 team, coming out of the preseason polls next year. It's a very difficult schedule next year, and I think the math was basically this. Change now, start the process more for 21 and 22, do that now, and next year it's not going to be very much winning regardless who the coach is, and maybe save yourself of the untidiness of maybe having to make a change during the middle of the year with Matt. What if we went up to Vanderbilt and lost in early October? What if we lost at home to Middle Tennessee in November? Well, that would necessitate probably an in-season change. So kind of let the new guy get in, get started, and kind of take his lumps next year while he's still got a wave of goodwill.
Or would it have been easier the following year, just playing devil's advocate, when the home schedule's a little bit more winnable than that one would be? Yeah. But just food for thought. Two combos here.
Matt and Ashley Luke are extraordinarily really good people. Yeah. And I hate that through the years his love of Ole Miss almost got caricatured. It was for real. Not this last spring, but spring of 2018, I had the honor and the privilege of hosting and emceeing the Chucky Mullins banquet. And just the mention of Chucky in that day, and it was through the eyes of a 14 or 15-year-old. Matt was in the stands, very emotional. He does love it. I hate that kind of got a little bit lampooned, but it was almost doomed to fail from the beginning in those odd circumstances. And everybody's kind of had that person that loved the place, that wasn't going to turn it down when he got the shot, but probably wasn't going to get the shot unless it was unusual circumstances, like Mike Shula at Bama, like LSU at Jerry Stovall, Rocky Felker at Mississippi State. Just a shame it ended that way. Ray Goff at Georgia, Joker Phillips, who played, bled, and sweat at Kentucky, not a very good head coach. We had it here in Memphis with Larry Porter, and now Matt joins that list. That they probably would have never gotten the shot unless it was odd circumstances to come in, and most all of those have a common denominator. They were all doomed to fail the day they were hired, and that's a shame.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Combination here of two different texts. One, would Mike Leach work at Ole Miss, and does Ole Miss need to win the press conference with this new hire to get the crowd back?
Second one first. Don't worry about the press conference. Nail the coaching position. We don't need to come if we come out of the press conference, fire and brimstone, great. But if the press conference turns into like watching paint dry, I don't care. The results on the field will matter. And the first part, that's toughie. We'll see.
This portion of the show brought to you by Campbell Clinic. We've been told maybe you need a new hip, a new shoulder, a knee replaced. Maybe. But you just don't. You're worried. You don't think you can get through the recovery process and be like yourself. You don't think you'll get back to the things you enjoy, whether that's golf or exercising or playing racquetball, whatever it may be. Put joint pain on the sideline. Call the experts, my guys at Campbell Clinic. They now do the same hip and knee replacement in two different surgery centers. You walk in with pain at 7, you're home feeling better, I promise you, in time for lunch. It is really that easy. Recover in the comfort of home and be back on the golf course, in the gym, in the garden, playing with grandkids in just a few weeks. I've never heard anybody say they regretted having their knee replaced by the doctors at Campbell Clinic. In fact, they usually say, I just wish I'd done it years earlier. Campbell Clinic, 5 different locations. End the nagging joint pain once and for all. Call 759-3111 or schedule an appointment online at campbellclinic.com.
May I have a mulligan and a take two? I took a powder on the Mike Leach question, and I don't do that in this format. I may look up and have to work with Mike Leach someday and work with him for him, and I would hope it would go well. But I'm going to say it. I think Mike Leach would be great as long as it's going well.
Yeah. Well, you're right. He's more interesting when it's going well than he was yesterday when he lost the game.
When you're laughing with him, I think it's just incense and peppermints.
Along those lines, we'll take one phone call on the First Bank phone line at 360-8255. And Dan, it's your turn. Go ahead.
Hey, Stats, you pretty much answered what I was going to ask about Matt Luke. The one thing, I'm a big Tiger fan. And I'm not that I'm not an Ole Miss fan, but I sure am a Matt Luke fan.
I am too.
What a class guy.
He has been.
Me too.
And
it hurt me to see him, the things people were saying about, like what you said, lampooning.
Right.
He really loves that school.
He does.
I mean, and you were right. I think it was destined to fail from the time he took the job.
It was just it was very difficult to take over in those circumstances, and with that NCAA investigation and the hammer finally falling. Right. It was really hard for him. He handled himself with class all the way. He did yesterday, and he has today, and he will going forward. And he's going to make somebody a hell of an offensive line coach.
Right, exactly. I was going to say, I can't imagine him not coaching somewhere again.
Well, and I think financially, in the end, he's really, really, really well taken care of.
He is.
Which is good
he
for him.
To win
and just like you said, he is going to stay in the game.
He will.
He will be a coach.
I want one coaching job with a $5 million buyout, and they can fire me. And that's it.
I want one shot at it, Dan. One shot at it.
And I do believe that Matt's is better than the $5 million.
Yeah,
that buyout.
He was handsomely paid on the way out, but he wanted to win for Ole Miss.
No question.
It just didn't work out, and quite frankly, another year wasn't going to make it work out either. We were going to be right here this time next year.
Thank you, Dan. We appreciate it. That is Dan. I'm sure he'll be at the Liberty Bowl on Saturday, 2:30. Yeah, it's the most amazing thing, too. This will be the fourth time that Memphis has been on ABC at home. How many other schools, seriously, this year could say they were on main network
phenomenal.
National TV 4 times in their own building?
And, Dave, I don't want to do this because it's easy to spend somebody else's money, and I got so tired of it in kind of the fool's errand we went on for the NFL. Boy, if you buy these exhibition tickets, we might get an NFL team. But if you are of the ways and the means and you like college football and you like the Tigers, I think it's important to go Saturday for this reason. Among many, and it's not the number one reason, it's not the primary reason, but among many, people around the country, commissioners of other conferences, come next realignment time, wow, they got 50,000 at a conference championship game that they had a week to sell tickets to.
Well,
that would be a great thing.
I am convinced that our fans will do that, and I'll tell you why. 59,500 for SMU, and on Thanksgiving weekend with school out, I don't know what the official crowd was, but it had to be around 35,000.
Official count 36 and a half, but eyeballed it looked over 40.
All right, again,
I think they're honest. 36.5 is about right.
When you say 36, 37 in that neighborhood, remember percentage of capacity, and that's up there.
That is up there. We take the break. We're back in a minute. We got crunch time and a few other things will slip in as you listen to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
The Peter Edmiston Experience with C.J. Hurt. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10. Only on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
There's a new commissary in town in Collierville. Germantown Commissary is doubling. Yeah, they're still going to have the old Germantown Commissary by the tracks, but now there's a huge new Germantown Commissary in Collierville at Poplar and Houston Levee Road. It's huge, too. There's a drive-through. There's plenty of parking, no telephone pole to get in your way, a cool patio. It's right by the track, so the tradition continues. And this is a tradition that's been around forever. That commissary is famous for hickory-smoked, slow-cooked Memphis-style barbecue. They've got a private party room at the new one in Collierville. Self-catering still continues. Party packs for $5.95. Basically, the great ribs, the great pulled shoulder, the great deviled eggs. Everything is there in Collierville and Germantown now. So there is now a Germantown and Collierville style of barbecue. It's called Germantown Commissary.
Kevin Harlan and Hall of Fame quarterback Kurt Warner here from Westwood One with a preview of Monday Night Football.
Coming up, a great battle of two hot NFC quarterbacks, Kurt. Russell Wilson and the 9-2 Seahawks playing host to Kirk Cousins and the 8-3 Minnesota Vikings.
I can't wait for this matchup, Kevin. You're talking about the Minnesota Vikings, maybe the most complete team in the National Football League, or one of them. You mentioned Kirk Cousins playing lights out. Dalvin Cook running the ball extremely well. Great receivers, and they've got a top 5 scoring defense going up against Russell Wilson, who has been the best quarterback top to bottom across the league this year.
It should be a good one, Kurt. Seattle has won 4 in a row. The Vikings 6 of 7. Join us on Monday Night Football.
Remember to listen to Westwood One's coverage of the NFL all season long, right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
'Tis the season to get the job done right. At AutoZone, we've got great deals on awesome products to help you spread the cheer this year. Right now, save $30 when you buy a 180-piece Duralast Mechanics tool set. It's perfectly portable, so getting the job done on the go is a breeze. And Duralast tools are guaranteed for life, which means it really is the gift that keeps on giving. Celebrating the holidays with a job well done starts here. Visit AutoZone.com and we'll help you get what you need. Restrictions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
The Home Depot is giving Santa's Workshop a run for its money with free power tools from top brands like DeWalt, Milwaukee, Rigid, Ryobi, and Makita. Buy a select power tool or battery kit from any one of these trusted brands and get another select tool from the same brand free. Even Santa can't beat that. Free select power tools from top brands, only from the Home Depot Gift Center. More saving, more doing. Valid through February 2nd while supplies last.
At Jason's Deli, you can stuff yourself full of great deli food that's healthy, fresh, and best of all, it's not expensive. Jason's Deli is all about choice. Whether you're looking for a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids' meals, or if you'd like to invent your sandwich via the build-your-own selections, Jason's Deli has you covered. And they only use fresh, wholesome ingredients. Choose from the club and specialty sandwiches, paninis, wraps, soups, salads, pastas, and much more. I love the cleanliness in the restaurant, the hospitality, and of course the cost. They have a huge salad bar and great soups, including Southwest chicken chili, fire roasted tortilla, organic vegetable, tomato basil, and many, many more. And if you're planning an event, their catering department is fantastic and can handle any size party. Go check out Jason's Deli's 4 locations. On Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, that's my favorite, on Germantown Parkway in Cordova, at Poplar and Highland, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch.
Napa know-how. Just in time for the holidays, select Craftsman tools are now available at Napa. Celebrate with a Craftsman 20-volt cordless impact wrench kit for just $149.99. It's the perfect gift for everyone in your list, even you. So get great savings on select Craftsman tools, now available at your local Napa store. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores while supplies last. Offer ends 12/31/19.
Need physical therapy but don't know where to go? Tried physical therapy but had a bad experience? Grab your physician's referral and head to Revolution Physical Therapy at the corner of Goodman and Getwell. At Revolution PT, you'll get one-on-one, hands-on therapy. Better and more thorough than just going to the gym. Revolution is locally owned and staffed by neighbors who care about your maximum recovery. And they accept all major insurances. Certified in dry needling, expert in myofascial release. Always relaxed and friendly. Revolution Physical Therapy is just what you need.
Welcome back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Final segment of the program. I got some great news last week. Brett, you're going to love this. You know how I brag about those Stance shirts?
Oh, yeah. I know it's coming.
You got 3 measurements fed into a computer. The algorithm spits out the perfect shirt, $100. It's there within 8-9 days.
Now trousers.
You're stealing my thunder. You've
I'm
done that
helping you
all
out on
day.
the spot, man. I'm sorry.
Oh, my God. I'm so excited.
I was trying to carry you across the
I don't know if
finish
it's
line.
2 or 3 measurements the way they do this with this modern stuff.
Perfect fit.
Perfect fit. And you know how sometimes if your tush got a little bit bigger, your tush feels fine. It feels like it fits right, but it's really baggy in the pants. All this stuff goes away. Perfect length, perfect waist, perfect throughout the pant. It's just incredible. This Stance stuff, and the only place you can get that, you know, is James Davis. And, of course, they have a big Christmas party coming up Thursday. I can't wait to see some of the new Christmas fashions that will be in. The fall fashions are obviously in. The 5-pocket pants that you love, they're all there, and all the different fabrics. The Paul Batenley suits, still the same deal, the best deal ever going. Usually, one's $7.95, you get, one's $5.95, you get two for $7.95. It's just the best. It's always the best. And by the way, we're getting to the season where you start to rent tuxedos. Why? James Davis has the best. You pay one time, it's done. And you can wear it for years like I do. You'll love it. James Davis Men's Store in the Laurelwood Shopping Center. Crunch time.
This is Geraldo. It is crunch time. You are looking live. It's crunch time. In your life have you seen anything like that?
Golly, I don't remember that one.
Take questions again for the student athletes at this time, please.
He's a professional. He's pretty classy for his age.
In the crunch time, that's the frustrating part.
Little Penny could make some appearances this year.
Okay, I'm not huge into stats.
Has it always been this way?
What's happening, big dog? How you doing?
Is this thing working?
Immediately when the buzzer sounds, he lets out this shriek.
He threw those ears forward. He was in stroke mode.
This is stupid.
It's obviously crunch time.
Boop, boop, boop. That's what you're getting.
Time for Taco Bell Crunch Time. Taco Bell, home of the crispy tortilla chips, topped with a double portion of either seasoned beef or shredded chicken, plus refried beans, nacho cheese sauce, reduced fat sour cream, guacamole, and a 3-cheese blend. Nachos Bel Grande, heaping portion of chips, topped with ground beef, tomatoes, beans, nacho cheese sauce, and a dollop of sour cream. Taco Bell, home to great food you get on your way home real fast, and they bring you crunch time every day. We've learned, and we do it every year, the perils of coaching and the perils of coaching at your alma mater. And unfortunately for Matt Luke and Barry Odom, it ended very sour, and that's a shame because they do both love their alma maters.
Next year, the battle for Atlantis. Have you seen this field?
Oh, it's great.
Duke, Ohio State, Creighton, Texas A&M, Utah, West Virginia, Wichita State, and your Memphis Tigers.
That will be.
Woo!
What are the days? Is that Thanksgiving weekend as well?
It's
or Thanksgiving time?
I believe that it is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Oh, you can make it to all that.
If there's a Saturday football game and not Friday.
Could have done without Ole Miss losing in basketball to Oklahoma State by 41 while only scoring 37. It got lost in the weekend, didn't it? But didn't Kermit Davis Jr. really stand up and take the heat on that one? Apologized to the fans, took total ownership, and had 2 practices yesterday. He's not sitting still.
Oh, no. And his team, that comeback against Penn State was really outstanding. I was there. I watched it. What I could have done without, you would think Wake Forest, those are smart guys, right? Danny Manning, I think, is a sort of a disciplinarian guy. He had to bench 4 players for being rude to people and having poor behavior at Disneyland in the Anaheim Classic.
Not a good story. Another not so good story from sports. The defensive back for Arizona involved in gambling, and now it's being reported that he was gambling in a parlay on the Cardinals. Football's got to get away from that. Watching Monday Night Football tonight, Kirk Cousins against Russell Wilson. Also be watching the Grizzlies tonight at home against the Pacers.
That's exactly who I'm going to watch. I think it'll be a good Seattle Vikings matchup, and then after that we'll see exactly what the Grizzlies are making. Can they go back-to-back without all the stars? Will some of the stars play? Will Valanciunas actually get back in the lineup? Will Kyle Anderson play? Will Brendan Clark play? The rookie. We'll see. We will see. That'll do it for us tomorrow. Busy as always, including our friend, we're moving Steve Earhart. But we will be chock busy tomorrow. See you then.
Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roofing. If you need a roof for your home or business, we hope to hear from you, and we will work hard to earn your business. We are experts and certified in residential and commercial roofing, siding, and gutter installation. We have been serving the Memphis area for over 20 years, and now with 2 of my sons working with me, we plan to be here for many years to come. So if you need a roof, please give us a call. On a personal note, what a great time to be a Memphis sports fan. With the Grizzlies' new look, the Redbirds, the 901 FC, and the Tigers football and basketball teams, it's going to be a fun year. Thank you to Coach Norvell, Coach Hardaway, and their staffs for your dedication to your student athletes, the University of Memphis, and to fans like me who have waited forever to have both the football and basketball teams ranked at the same time. 5Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
I love fall. The landscape is so beautiful at Town Village Audubon Park. Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. Looking for a great place to retire, but you still have a very active lifestyle? Then visit Town Village. Only requirements that you're 55 plus. Prices per month starting at $2,300. Gourmet Chef Drew invites you to visit our restaurant and bistro. Package includes 3 complimentary meals per day, maid service, free local transportation, daily check-in, monthly coffee club, themed dinner parties, lots of fun. Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home. Town Village Audubon Park.
It's game on at the new Moneyline Book Bar and Grill inside the Gold Strike Casino Resort. Now you can bet on all of your favorite sports and watch the games on 60 HD TVs while you lounge in plush seating and enjoy craft beers, signature cocktails, and great food. Plus, don't miss the Topgolf Swing Suite, a virtual reality experience with a variety of fun interactive games every sports fan will love. Visit the Moneyline Bar, Book and Grill at Gold Strike Casino Resort for Monday Night Football happy hour specials. Or anytime you want a piece of the best sports action in Mississippi.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive? Take the car for a couple of days if you want. Streamlined buying process. You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar. Take it into Mississippi. The first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
One thing I've learned over the years, no matter what you're buying, the smart thing to do is to buy from someone who sells quality products, delivers great personal service, and knows their business inside and out because they have over 2 decades of experience. When you're talking about insurance, it's more important than ever because you're counting on your agent to come up with a policy that's exactly what you need from a company you can absolutely depend on, be there when you need him, and save money all at the same time. When you deal with William Glass or any of their staff at the Glass Group, you're not only in good hands, you'll find out that you can put the money a lot of insurance companies spend on advertising on the World Series or college football or basketball in your pocket while you enjoy first-rate coverage on your home, auto, and business with things like Rate Lock on your car. So you're not canceled for a wreck or a speeding ticket. Guaranteed replacement on your home and contents, earthquake coverage, and outstanding rates for business on workman's comp, commercial auto, and any other business need you may have. Worried about mayhem? Call William Glass at the Glass Group, 843-1190. They'll handle it for you. 843-1190. When it comes to your pet, you want nothing but the best in boarding, daycare, and grooming, and we say thank you, Memphis, for voting Barks and Recreation #1 in Best Pet Grooming in this year's Memphis Most competition. We're also #1 in boarding with indoor-outdoor kennels so your family member can go in and out as they please, while they're being cared for by the best staff in Memphis, one that includes overnight staffing to ensure the safety and happiness of your pet 24 hours a day. And we're #1 in daycare with indoor and outdoor play areas, individual and group playtime, 4 walks a day, and small play groups to make sure that your pet gets the individual attention they deserve. Make your reservations now at barksdaycare.com or call us at 901-509-0909. Barks and Recreation, 965 Reddick Cove, between Bud Davis Cadillac and the Blue Plate Cafe in East Memphis. There are 2 or 3 things in life that you simply can't live without if you live in the Mid-South. One of them is air conditioning. We take it for granted, never think about it, till it stops working, and then when you're miserable, you make the mistake of calling the big-name company, and you pay way more than you should, or you call somebody who shouldn't be working on your lawnmower, much less something as important and complex as your HVAC system. When you need air conditioning or heating help, make the smart call to Dunn Heating and Air Conditioning at 494-9040. Brooke Dunn takes pride in his work. He'll treat you fairly, he knows his business, and he comes with the complete backing of the old Rain Man, and University of Memphis supporters will undoubtedly remember his grandfather, Coach Al Brown. Dunn Heating and Air Conditioning, 494-9040. That's 494-9040. Did you know that paying a traffic ticket is an admission of guilt? It is, and it could result in higher insurance rates and add points to your driving record, which could result in your license being suspended or even revoked. It's amazing how simple things can turn into major problems, and it's why no matter what legal problem you may have, you need to know exactly what your rights and your options are. You need an attorney who is only interested in one thing, fighting for you, and I've got one for you, Chelsea Rainey. You can call her for a free, convenient phone consultation at 901-647-4861. Traffic tickets, driving while impaired, drug charges, misdemeanors, divorce. If you live in the Metro Memphis area and you've been accused of a crime, you need to speak to attorney Chelsea Rainey about your options and your legal rights. Chelsea Rainey is dedicated to advocating and protecting your rights. Your initial consultation is free, and attorney Chelsea Rainey is always on call, always available at 647-4861. That's 647-4861.
You finally found it, the vehicle of your dreams. You know it's got everything you want, you just don't know the price. Until now, shop one price pre-owned vehicles today at AutoNation Ford Wolf Chase. Now, every pre-owned vehicle is clearly marked with our lowest price, guaranteed. That means no negotiations, no pressure, just one low price. And every certified AutoNation pre-owned vehicle is inspected in 125 different places, so there's no worries. Plus, your purchase is protected with a money-back guarantee for 5 days or 250 miles, whichever comes first. And as America's largest automotive retailer, you can shop one price pre-owned vehicles from over 250 stores coast to coast. That's something you can count on. Shop over 20,000 one price pre-owned vehicles at AutoNation.com or visit AutoNation Ford Wolf Chase. Drive pink, drive safe, drive now. AutoNation. Certain terms, conditions, and restrictions may apply. See store for complete details.
Southern Sports Report is being brought to you today in part by Gateway Tire and Service Centers, where there's always one thing you can count on. We go the distance for you. So before you hit the road for a trip across country or just across town, drop by any one of our 12 Memphis area locations. Whether it's tires or auto repair, you can always count on one thing. At Gateway Tire and Service Center, we go the distance for you.
Memphis Sports Radio welcomes you to the following presentation of Southern Sports Report.